25. The two teams going in opposite directions with the Elks. Losers of 2 straight and the Tiger Cats winners of 5 in a row. Edmonton, Hamilton coming up next. Your current front runner for MOP, Bo Levi Mitchell. He leads the CFL with 2,201 passing yards, 15 TDs, also 16-4 in his career against Edmonton. But Cody Fajardo is 6-1 against Hamilton, 346 passing yards last week, all while being sacked 8 times. By the way, it was his 16th 300-plus yard game of his career, and they're looking for more from Cody this afternoon. Hello, Canada, and welcome to a doubleheader on Saturday. Keeping us alongside Enoch Mwamba, Dave Naylor, Milt Stiegel as we get set for our first of 2 games. And Milt, I just explained that Cody did do well, I think, last week. Obviously, they didn't win the game, but you have belief in him today. I believe this team will play a lot better. Do I believe they're going to win? Let's hold off on that. But I believe Cody and this team will play a lot better. Kate mentioned it. He's 6-1 against these Tiger Cats. These Tiger Cats are also playing their 3rd game in a row on the road. And Cody Fajardo, let's be honest, he's one of the most efficient quarterbacks in CFL history. His 2nd week in this offense, I think he's gotten more comfortable with those receivers. I think they'll shore up that offensive line, allowing him to use his skill set. So I think this Edmonton Elk team will be a lot better than what they were last week.
They're going to have a tough challenge going against that defense in Hamilton. It was funny, the first couple weeks of the season, we're kind of like, wow, that Hamilton's going to be a lot better. This is, both offensively, defensively. They just don't have a presence. Well, they've won 5 in a row. They've won 5 in a row since they put Devin Veresek in at middle linebacker. They've added Reggie Stubblefield and, of course, Kenny Lawler as the headliner, top target in the CFL, big plays. This is a tough matchup. Either side of the ball for Edmonton this afternoon.
Yeah, you talk about the better matchup that they'll do. They'll have this week against this defense. But I'm looking for their defense in Edmonton as well. Facing Bo Levi Mitchell last week was probably the best performance that they've had all year long. But they're going against a guy who is practically re-entering his prime, which is unbelievable to see. I mean, I'm kind of jealous of Bo Levi Mitchell.
No, we all called that. We've called that for years. That Bo, the best is yet to come. And really it is, because guess what? He's chasing a record today as well. So Bo Levi Mitchell, 41,224 career passing yards. He is 132 shy of the one and only Doug Flutie for 9th all-time.
Their first 5-game winning streak since 2019. Fajardo has found a way to throw 2 touchdown passes, and we got a ball game.
I'll see y'all next week. I know y'all watching it.
Thank you very much, Kate. Happy Saturday, Canada. It is the first of a CFL on TSN doubleheader from the Alberta capital, and it is going to be a hot one for those on the field, and not just the temperatures, because we have got the red-hot Hamilton Ticats in town, winners of 5 straight for the first time since 2019, and they're taking on Lapo, an Edmonton team that slowly showed some signs of life last week with a new starting quarterback.
Cody Fajardo showed a lot of great things last week. 346 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The rhythm this offense has been looking for showed up last week. Hey, last week, Tracy Ham. This week, 132 yards just to pass the amazing Doug Flutie. Very interesting to see that happen today.
Scott Milanovich, meanwhile, was the head coach in Edmonton briefly. Never actually coached a game for the franchise before departing to Hamilton. Mark Killam, very proud to be here in Edmonton, and said his team has had a great week of practice. As I mentioned, speaking to Mark Killam a couple of days ago, he said his team, he believes, is still fully bought in, and they've had their best practice week of the season. Getting Fajardo brought them some signs of life, Lapo.
And certainly, I think the defense, after the bye week, the defense was much improved versus Saskatchewan, and going against Trevor Harris is not an easy feat. So a lot of things to build on, a lot of things to fix from last week. Offensively, we'll talk about tonight, the sacks they gave up. But very positive things they felt from last week.
The electric Isaiah Wooden takes the opening kickoff, crosses the 30. He's got some room. He's got some space out in front of him. I'm not sure they can catch him from here. They do manage to turn him back. Great opening return for Isaiah Wooden inside the Edmonton 30-yard line. What a start for the Ticats.
Once again, Isaiah Wooden, explosive football plays from this player. Kickoff returns, got the most in the Canadian Football League from explosive kickoff returns. Bounces it, makes it move across the grain. It's a boundary return, and then he just sees color, and he cuts across the grain on the color. It just uses his speed to get the explosive play to put this ball inside the 30-yard line for a short field for the offense. 75-yard run for him.
Blanchard slowed him up. You wouldn't think the kicker could do that, but he did. Nonetheless, Bo Levi Mitchell is going to like what he sees. Handoff to Bell, right side, cuts inside, picks up about half of the 10 yards needed here.
Last week and throughout the course of the season, the biggest number, as you see, is 15 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's what had to change for him in year 2 with Scott Milanovic. Scott talked about he really understands the system so much better. Really understands this one, Farhan. It's not only the number 1 person you're thrown to. Sometimes when they take number 1 away, and he still finds his check downs. And he needed reps of that, trying to make sure not only just throwing to the primary guy, but second, third, fourth guy in the progressions.
You saw how big a priority Kenny Lawler was for the BC Lions and allowed others to pay. This time it's Keandre Smith with the touchdown. He had a big game last week, and he follows it up early here.
Good move by Keandre here, and great recognition by Bo. This is an inside-out read for him. He sees Keandre Smith on a skinny post in the middle of the field with really no help underneath. And what's he do? When both linebackers blitz, he knows there's nobody in the middle of the field, and he has position to throw the skinny post to Keandre Smith, and Keandre continues to be a focal part of this team and this offense after last week's amazing 14-catch game. Finished it off with a TD right off the bat.
I asked him after the game, all the Canadian receivers that are excelling right now in the CFL, are you the best? He said, absolutely. Leguian to attempt the PAT. It is good. The Hamilton Ticats with Keandre Smith continuing his red-hot play from last week, go up 7-0 early.
Great special teams, leads to a short field, leads to an easy touchdown for Bo Levi, Keandre Smith. First thing look at here, if you want to look at quarterback, if you play the game as a quarterback, safety's kick to this side of the field. I'm going to clear that. Now when the ball snap, both these linebackers go. When that happens, there's too much space on the skinny post. That's where Bo was looking. He saw it immediately, saw the width on the outside. Kobe Williams falls down. Too much space for Keandre Smith. And more importantly, for Bo Levi Mitchell, recognizes that picture like an excellent start for them. Big return, Isaiah Wooden, one of the best returners in the Canadian Football League right now.
Meanwhile, Mark Leggio kicks deep. That is Javon Leak on the return. Let's see if he's got a big play at him. We've seen plenty of that over his career. Out across the 35 to the 38-yard line where Cody Fajardo will get his first opportunity to respond.
And for Cody last week, there were a couple of good things. There was a couple of explosive football plays. That's something they were lacking. Shots downfield that led to explosive football plays. He had a couple of those in the games. He used his legs to create one of those explosives. And the biggest thing you see right there, 0 interceptions. Cody will complete passes, as you will see. Like he's got the highest completion percentage of any quarterback in the history of the game. So he's going to get some completions.
First play, the quick fake. They get it outside. That's Dunbar in the flat. Katsantonis with the tackle. Close to 10 on the play. Good start for the Elks.
David Baird today and that offensive line, they're going to have a lot of things to work on this week after giving up a bunch of sacks. It's probably a tough week for them after giving up 8 sacks, working on how they can improve. Stephen Dunbar plays his old football team. Stephen Dunbar plays his own football team, leads the Elks 333 yards, 1 touchdown on the season, leading receiver for the Elks.
They gave them the first down on that play. This time the handoff to Rankin gets across the 50-yard line. Not much there, but he does manage to fight for a couple of extra yards, gets 4 on first down.
Philip Osai gets his first start of the season. He's played on the roster, but he's filling in for Tyron Garbett. Devin Verisek, I talked to GM Ted Gavaya this morning. We talked about Verisek. He just said, hey, his tools were so athletic. He had a huge ceiling. We had to draft him. Destin Talbot, first in the CFL with 7 pass knockdowns, and that impressive boundary halfback position. It's very hard to play.
Second and medium for Edmonton. We haven't said a lot of that. This time, some pressure. The inside slant, that's complete to Curly Gittens Jr. More than enough for the first down. Good recognition by Cody Fajardo.
Cody seeing that there's a little bit of pressure. Ticats bring in. You see these 2 linebackers standing right at the line of scrimmage. They're gonna blitz, try to get to the quarterback. There's a free rusher. What's he do? Takes the ball, gets the ball out of his hands to the quick, earliest pass he can for a location. And like you said, Farhad, second and medium helped them get that first down. Last week, they only had 5 second mediums all game.
11 on that play. This time, again, the quick throw to Arkell Smith. Another productive play on first down, 8 yards there. But we do have a penalty flag on the play.
So part of this, I like this early game planning. One of the things that happened last week for this football team is they were in terrible field position, situational football, second downs. They were in, they didn't have a second and short all game, Farhan. They had 2nd and 5. See, we got a holding come bringing us back.
Illegal interference, blocking downfield. Edmonton, number 6, a 10-yard penalty. Will replay first down.
Productive drive stalls, potentially stalls, thanks to an unfortunate penalty here for Edmonton. Mark Killam won't like that.
On a pass play, you're not supposed to block downfield. The ball has to be behind the line of scrimmage. So they're doing a screen pass here, okay, and then the ball goes past the line of scrimmage on the other side. You can't have it a completion on one side with a screen on the other.
This time, Fajardo drops back, has an open receiver. It's Gittens Jr. again, but we've got another penalty flag in the backfield here. Let's see who this is against.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Hamilton, number 91. 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the play, and a first down.
25-yard gain, Miles Fox with the penalty.
You have an inside receiver clearing out, and then you're wrapped behind it. 2 receivers go high, 1 underneath. Great throw and location. Amazing play for that 25-yard gain. There's the roughing the passer. Can't make a blow to the head.
Net of 41 there all of a sudden. Edmonton at the 16-yard line, knocking on the door in the red zone. An extra lineman in motion. The handoff around the end to Dunbar. He's got some room, cuts it back inside. That was Jonathan Moxey with the tackle, potentially preventing a touchdown there. 9 yards on the pickup. Edmonton moving it well.
You're trying to slow these players down. Sometimes these reverses get great yardage, but sometimes it just slows people down. You'll see 2 people pull to the left and then flip their hips and turn around and go the other way. Trying to make the defense go both directions and trying to slow down the backside. Good first drive for the Elks.
Phil Grahovic, the backup lineman, in motion coming around the corner there. 7th play of the drive coming up here. We've now got Cole Snyder into the game at quarterback for the short yardage. Looked like he might have bobbled the snap, but I think he got it back and got the first down. It'll be close.
Bobbled, you can see the snap right here, bobbled a little bit. Now the hardest part is when the center moves forward, the quarterback actually kind of has to lunge forward to make sure he doesn't stay outside, so his hands depart from his underside. So he's got to ride that underneath to get that, but he was able to recover, make this 3rd and 1. They'll go for it here on a 3rd and 1, 3rd and inches. They should be able to get this. But a good drive, really changing up what you're doing. And the biggest thing is success on first down. That's what they did not have last week.
Snyder again takes the handoff, left side, should have the first down. Edmonton 5 of 7 in that situation coming into this game.
A little bit better push. Really good push on the offense line. Just going to try to dive low, get lower, and then the quarterback's just got to drop and get underneath. Good first down, put themselves inside the 5-yard line.
Very productive opening drive for Cody Fajardo and the Elks, especially after the 10-yard penalty early on, put them behind the sticks. Let's see if they can finish it here. First and goal from the 5. The handoff to Rankin. There is a penalty flag in the play. Rankin bounces, cuts inside, touchdown, Edmonton. Let's see what the flag is.
Could be possibly in Edmonton, we think.
Offside. Edmonton number 6, a 5-yard penalty. We're going to replay first down.
Second penalty of this drive for Stephen Dunbar.
These are just so difficult to get these penalty. Like, you can see him right here's the line of scrimmage. You can see his foot. So he lined up offside. You can't have these mental error penalties inside the 5-yard line. Just especially when he's just running down the sideline and he's just going to run away. Just a difficult penalty to take to back your team up.
What's interesting in that situation is if you are in motion, all your back leg has to do is be behind the line, which it was there, but different when you're aligned, I suppose. Now it brings up first and goal. Rankin again, and he scores, this time from 10 yards out. Justin Rankin down the middle of Hamilton's defense.
Collapsing the defensive line is one of the staples you need to do when you have big offensive linemen who can lean on people. You watch Boyko, just keep an eye on what he does to the defense. And Rankin recognizes it, and he winds it right back behind, sees that huge area. Wilbin tries to go in at his legs. You're not going to make a leg tackle on him. Great run, but great job by the O-line to start this game, getting off the ball, Farhan, after a tough week last week.
A 10-play drive, 72 yards, almost 5.5 minutes off the clock. We haven't seen a lot of that with Edmonton, and they overcame penalties twice on that drive to finish it off with 6.
Big pass play, huge, explosive, beat the blitz on a first down conversion. Good drive.
Blanchard on to attempt the PAT to tie things up, and he does. Midway through the first quarter, Edmonton responds with a long drive for a touchdown. Justin Rankin. After an easy opening drive for Hamilton, Edmonton with a chance to respond, Lapo.
A couple of short passes to Stephen Dunbar. Throw into a blitz to get easy first down. Then the big play to Curly Giddens Jr. for 25 yards. A little reverse, a little razzle-tazzle inside the red zone. Will make the big play. And Rankin overcomes the penalty, gets the ball in the end zone. Right, this is what this team needs to do on offense. They need to be productive on first down. They can't be in long-yarded situations, and they actually overcame a couple of penalties. So great opening drive for the offense.
Isaiah Wooden went 75 yards on the opening kickoff. Let's see what he does here. Across the 30, bounces away from traffic. Brought down at the 34-yard line. Much better effort by the special teams of Edmonton.
Yeah, looking forward to this. Take a look at this as we keep looking at these returns. It wouldn't, you know, when you talk to Dennis McKnight, he just said these guys just electrify everybody in our special teams room. They want to play for him. They know every time he touches the ball, it could be a huge explosive play. And one of the reasons that this team is so much better at special teams this year is a
2-play drive for Hamilton the last time out. This time some extra offensive line. The pass outside goes to Giovanni Robinson. 15 yards on first down.
Brendan Revenberg, the veteran of this O-line, looked great last week. This line is tied for first in the CFL with the fewest sacks, only 7. This is a good group, knows what they're doing, protection. Keandre Smith, we already talked about him. Best game of his career, 14 catches, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns last week.
Hamilton approaching midfield. First and 10. Bo Levi Mitchell under center. One extra tight end in the game there. This time the quick pass to Tim White. Picks up a block on the right side. Edmonton rallies well. 5-yard gain on first down.
Robbie Smith back on the roster after missing the last 2 games with injury, trying to improve this team that's 9th in sacks with only 4 this season. Joel DeBlanco, first start of his career, first overall pick last year from Cincinnati. Said the game started to slow down for him year 2. J.J. Ross, second-year player from Western Illinois, is going to draw the task of going against Kenny Lawler a bunch.
They gave him 6 on that first down play, brings up 2nd and 4 for Bo. Smith in motion, the give to Greg Bell, left side, should have enough for the first down. So many options for this Hamilton offense.
Greg Bell getting in, nice run on the inside, good push. These two work, create a huge hole. You got the receiver comes in to help out. 2nd and 5, that's going to be an easy run off the inside zone for a good gain. Scott Milanovic talks so much about, like, part of this game for him has been, when he came back, is how the importance of the run game has to be to the success of his football team.
Isaiah Wooden in the backfield, takes the swing pass from Mitchell. Has some room, still on his feet, brought down after another first down at the Edmonton 40-yard line.
Speaking of run game, this is just a run, but even though you're throwing it on the outside, you got 3 blockers at the point of attack, and then you just flip it outside and say, all right, we're going to get our speed players in space, let them run with the football, and see how many yards we can get. And that's great to stay on schedule. You know, just an extended run to get you a first down.
4 receivers already in the action for Hamilton in the first quarter here. This time, Tim White with the quick pass. Breaks the first tackle, run out of bounds. Close to 4 on that play, maybe 5.
This is part of the game you have where Tim White's on a screen pass, and if there's some pressure for blitz, what do? I don't want to run the ball into a blitz. I'm going to throw it on the outside. So you have Tim White, Kenny Lawler on one side. The Elks blitzed on that last play. Bo recognized it, throws it out to Tim White, and that run pass option of, hey, we're not going to be in a bad position to run the football. We're going to make sure we have options in the pass game.
Extra offensive lineman into the game for Hamilton. This time Mitchell stepping up into the pocket. Looks for an opening, can't find one. Scrambles himself, gets close to the first down. Probably a little short. Let's see where they mark it. Bo Levi Mitchell in the last 2 games, we've seen him running a little bit more than usual.
That's one of the things that talking with him last year, he said that there was one time Scott pulled him in the office and said, hey, listen, you're not running when you're supposed to run. He's like, what do you mean? And Scott pulled up a bunch of clips where he should have pulled the ball down and ran. And so much of this offense is tied to your footwork. You get to your first read with your footwork. Your second read, it's not there. Third read, you better start, take off, and run. He's done that very well, and nobody expects him to run with the football.
Jake Dolagal in on 3rd and inches. Falls forward for the yard that he needs. First down, Hamilton at the 29-yard line of the Elks.
He's tall enough you can just flip him over. How tall Jake Dolagal is.
He's better at it now. I mean, there were times in BC and Saskatchewan when he struggled in the short yardage role, but seems to have found a groove here with a pretty good offensive line in front of him.
And the biggest thing you want to do is usually you're trying to go to the lowest technique. You're trying to go make sure there's not a jumper that's going to hit you in the head. You try to go underneath the linebackers and find the soft spot in the defense.
Mitchell has been very good on first down so far on this drive. This time the hand up to Johnny Augustine. The Elks are right there, not much room for the product out of Guelph.
Looked like Kenneth Logan Jr. there on looks like the tackle wrap play as the Elks stuff that run as the Ticats try to bring a tackle around to the middle of the field. You'll see him pulling around the edge. Nothing there. Kenneth Logan sees it, drives it inside. Good recognition with his eyes. Seeing the tackle wrap.
A rare 2nd and long for Hamilton here. Mitchell drops back the pass, has time, has to move around, avoids the sack, still on his feet. Let's see where he goes with it. It's DeAndre Smith with a big gain inside the 5-yard line. They can't bring Mitchell down, and he makes them pay for 26 yards.
dangerous, ability to use your legs. The Elks have got it. They've got him in coverage. Bo can't find his first throw. He can't find it. He's going to his second. Now he's scrambling. Can't find his third. Tyreek Johnson's trying to get a piece to him. He gets away. That's the hardest part of the mobility position. Sooner or later, you can't cover all day long. Keandre Smith on the sideline makes the play for a 26-yard gain.
Yeah, he didn't have much room, but just the perfect pass by Mitchell in that situation. Mitchell stays in the game, hands off to Greg Bell, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Hamilton responds. 3 drives in this game, Lapo, all 3 ending in the end zone with touchdowns. Good positioning. When you're in these close end zone shots, you're going to just put a bunch of offensive linemen in and watch. You're going to see people going like this, but you're going to pull people over to this way. And what you're building is a big wall. You separate the defense and then pull people from the backside of the play, and the back finds the crease. So great down blocks, great pull around on the power play for the touchdown for Bell. Excellent drive and response by the Ticats. Another 10-play drive, 76 yards, just under 5 minutes on that one. A short drive early. This time Hamilton long drives it. Mark Leggio on to attempt the PAT. It is good. We got nice round football numbers, 14-7, no single points, no rouges. We got an entertaining football game here at Commonwealth.
Play 64-yard TD drive, little of everything. Everybody plays off in coverage, get it to Giovanni Robinson underneath. They blitz, get it out to Tim White. Get a little bit of screen pass on the sideline. Climb the pocket. Scramble for a first. Scramble for an explosive play. And make the O-line coach happy with a big power play down at the goal line for fun. So 76-yard drive for the touchdown.
Each team with a 10-play touchdown drive. Let's see if the Elks can answer again. Leak at his own 16, takes it to the right side. Not much of a crease there. A lot of fun so far here at Commonwealth on a beautiful afternoon. We'll be back with Edmonton holding the ball. Keandre Smith couldn't remember the last time he had 14 catches in a game. Didn't happen in college. He's not sure if it happened before that, but it happened then. He started out well tonight, and with more on his story, here's Tom Gazzola.
Farhan, monster week 8 for Keandre Smith against the BC Lions. 138 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and like you said, almost entering history with Andy Fantuz's 15 receptions as a Canadian. Not quite there with the 14, but Keandre has deep CFL roots. His dad, Adrian, played from 94 to 05 in the CFL, and Keandre said he learned a lot from guys like Michael Bishop, Damon Allen, Jordan Younger, as his dad lived with them during their time as Argonauts, and he said he admired guys like Arlen Bruce and G. Roy Simon, our very own Milt Stegall. He said he knew he would be a football player, even though his dad wanted him to play baseball, so making his mark early on here, guys.
Adrian was never at a loss for words. This time, Cody Fajardo finds Stephen Dunbar. Gets out near midfield. Nice look on the RPO. 24 yards for Dunbar.
What makes good is when you're running the football, everybody starts crowding the box. You got a couple extra linemen here, extra blocker right here, fake to the tailback, and then watch everybody come down. When you pull linemen, people drop down, gives you an opportunity to throw to Dunbar underneath that for that 24-yard gain. Stephen Dunbar, good run action pass play.
Dunbar's been all over the stat sheet in this one. Rankin this time with the first down carry, not much there. Maybe a yard on the play will bring up second and long.
The power play, basically what happens a lot of times is when you start pulling, and I will love what the Edmonton Elks did, pulling linemen or linemen go in different directions, all the linebackers bite up. You saw that on that last play. That's how Stephen Dunbar became so wide open. It's a good executed drive by Jordan McSimic. Calling plays, keep this Ticat defense off balance.
No option for the quarterback to pull on a play like that, which has happened a lot this year, which has led to a lack of run attempts, which we'll get into in a minute. Meanwhile, 2nd and 9, Fajardo can't escape, and he is brought down. That is Reggie Stubblefield finishing off the sack. Big loss on the play, which will force Edmonton to punt.
The talented Reggie Stubblefield. He's great when he's around the box. You'll see everybody at the line of scrimmage and people blitz off the edge as Cody starts climbing back up the pocket. Looks like some hands get on him, and then Reggie Stubblefield can finish him off. A little bit of zone pressure there from the Ticats, trying to show one look, draw people out. Stubblefield's in to clean it up as he scrambles.
Cody Grace on to attempt the first punt of the game. Grace gets an end-over-end punt. Isaiah Wooden lets it bounce, takes it inside his own 5. That one's not going to make it to the end zone, but it might create some space for Wooden. Cuts back inside, brought down inside his own 20. It looked like he might have had some room there after the 57-yard punt.
Well, that's one of the harder things when you're trying to get everybody away from the punter. You don't want to take a no yards penalty. You still got to cover off and don't give him a lane where he can avoid left.
That's the end of an entertaining first quarter with Hamilton out in front 14-7 on a beautiful afternoon here at Commonwealth. We will be back with the second quarter when we return. Lapo, a pretty efficient first quarter for both teams. Neither quarterback has gotten an incomplete pass so far. It could be a track meet. Can Edmonton keep up?
Well, I don't want it to be a track meet. How about that? Let's get Edmonton, the Elks defense, get a takeaway. They don't have any takeaways this season. They only got one interception all year, and it's by Jake Cerezo. Let's get this Elk defense, help out the offense, get a couple of takeaways, create a short field. I like what the Elks are doing offensively right now. It's some downhill runs, got some good rushing yardage, allowing some of that play actions to happen. Cody's got some nice completion percentage, and they're managing their down and distance better. What I mean by that is they're not in terrible positions. They can overcome the yardage they need for the first downs.
Just had a look at Jordan McSimic there, who's been under some criticism for not running the ball enough. We saw a little bit more of that in the first quarter with Justin Rankin. But now it's Hamilton's turn. Their offense seems to look good in any situation right now. This time inside their own 20. They had a 10-play drive the last time. This one opens up with the first catch of the game for Kenny Lawler. Meanwhile, back in the studio, Milt Stiegel is excited every time Kenny Lawler goes a quarter without a completion.
Oh, well, yeah, Milt loves the excitement. I'm sure Milt would love to see him get 22 touchdowns till the end of the season.
Yeah. Just keep the records where you want them.
It's hard. I would say this from the records from what Milt, I was with Milt in those days. The coverages are so much different nowadays than they were back in 02. There's a lot more just 3 deep in man coverage. There's so many different coverages now quarterbacks and receivers have to face.
4 yards on that play. 2nd and 6 for Bo. This time he checks it down. Keandre Smith, you think he's going to come up short of the first down. That's a big stop for Edmonton the way things are going.
Primary throw is covered. Secondary throw is covered. Bo flips his hips, throws the check down underneath. And when he does that, the Edmonton Elks rally up and make the tackle. Why? Because they didn't give up a big yardage gain on first down, so they can rally and tackle Keandre Smith right here and get him off the field. This is exactly what this Elks defense needed to do. Give the ball back. Let this Elks offense keep doing more with Cody Fajardo at the helm.
The first 2 and out of the game by either team. Javon Leak back to take this. A real good punt. Takes it inside his own 30-yard line. A 54-yard punt. He's looking for some room on the right side. He could have something here. Javon Leak across the 50, across midfield, into Edmonton territory. Strong return for Edmonton as they look to tie this game. Their defense got it done. Their special teams followed up. Cody Fajardo and the offense coming back out in very good field position after the Javon Leak return.
The struggle last week versus the Saskatchewan Roughriders was their first down productivity for the Elks. If you look at this, they didn't have a short yardage situation. They only had 5 mediums, 9 second and 7 and 10, and 6 extra yardage play, including 2 2nd and 20s. Any team is going to struggle. The 8 sacks come from not being productive on 1st and 10. You've got to make sure you're more productive 1st and 10. It started out this way early.
Rankin takes the handoff. Not a lot of room. Stays on his feet, but not for long. Jonathan Moxey comes in to clean things up for Hamilton and limit the game.
And last week, Cody also said, this sack right here was Cody's fault. He should have handed the ball off. When I watch that on film, there's a couple of there are Cody's fault, and the O-line struggled at times, but you are going to struggle when it's 2nd and 20, and everybody in the stadium knows you're throwing the football. So if you're productive on first downs, you get big plays on first downs, and you put yourself in 2nd and short positions, you don't have to face that awesome pass rush of your opponents.
Hamilton showing blitz here. Fajardo finds a completion. This time it's Arkell Smith. Good enough for the first down. Close to the 25-yard line. Fajardo takes the hit to make the play for 21 yards and a first down.
Zone pressure, bringing the boundary, halfback across. Tell coming across, takes a shot, but Cody recognizes that this is a zone blitz. There's space, throws it in the hole. When you zone blitz like that, it's going to open up big windows. Nice throw to Arkell Smith.
This time the quick throw, left side. Stephen Dunbar again breaks the tackle, headed for the end zone. Dunbar knocked out of bounds by Stavros Konstantonis before he could cross the goal line. 25 yards to the 1-yard line. Edmonton knocking on the door.
Quick throws, ball out of the quarterback's hands. Doesn't really matter about your O-line, your pass rush. Quick throw to the sideline on the outcut. Tough to overplay it. Jamal Peters overplays it too much. Stephen Dunbar gets upfield, put the ball at the 1-yard line.
What a response this would be for Edmonton. Getting a 2-and-out, a good return, followed by a pretty effective drive here if it ends in the end zone.
It's good to get your crowd into the game here. High odds of touchdown here.
Snyder into the end zone. Touchdown, Edmonton. What a drive by the Elks.
Looks like Snyder's first touchdown. He's taking the football with him. Look at this drone shot we got. Oh, my goodness. Tackle wedge. Don't go where all the big guys are, right over the center. Slide it a little bit to the left. Good push underneath. It's like his first touchdown. I saw him grab the football to take off.
4-play drive. That'll give the Elks some confidence. 47 yards a minute, 41. The big play, that second and long conversion to Arkell Smith.
Into blitz, into pressure. Cody stays in the pocket. Knows there's a free rusher, but he knows I can get the ball out of my hands. Arkell Smith into that hole in the defense in his own blitz. It's a good thing for Snyder, thanking his big men, the O-line. Slides, off tackle, keep your feet moving. Stay below the high linebackers. Fall into the end zone. Finish with your feet in the end zone, keeping the ball for his first touchdown of his career.
And the first player from the sideline to come on to greet him was Cody Fajardo. He went out to the numbers to congratulate him.
Eastern Michigan product, Snyder.
Fajardo and Trey Ford on the sidelines there. Equipment staff's making sure to take care of that ball. That'll go in a trophy case.
Yep, so then they put tape over it. For those who know, they'll put tape. Cole Snyder, first touchdown. People get it painted and they paint and write all that. It goes up in your office.
How many of you got in your office?
I got 3 or 4. I got a couple Grey Cup ones. I got first wins as head coaches at other organizations. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I have Milt Stiegel's game ball when he got the 23rd touchdown. I don't think it's the 23rd ball, but there's a game ball given, and he gave it to me.
Nice.
In 2002. Talked about that the other night.
Meanwhile, the kickoff goes to Isaiah Wooden. Actually, no, it's not Wooden this time. It's Deshaun Amos. Sorry, make that Jonathan Moxey at the 25-yard line before being brought down across the 25. Good decision by Edmonton. Kick the ball away from Wooden.
Yeah, that's why you're going to... Look at Bo right here. This is a pretty amazing stat and how he goes through his career. I remember his first game was in Winnipeg, gets his start, and he's getting better and better as he gets. The best thing for a quarterback, the more time you get to see it, the pictures get easier. He's actually getting better in a new system. With Scott Milanovic has been exposed to a new system. He's able to respond very well in his second year in the system. takes time to go to these systems.
38 yards away from passing Doug Flutie. This time the quick flip to Tim White. This counts as a pass. Should be good enough for the first down. Chipping away. Moved into 10th place last week. Looking to pass Doug Flutie to get to 9th.
The end is going to crash, and then the receiver is going to come. You just toss the ball to him, and as the linemen go to the right, what happens is the end just takes one step inside. Too late. Tim White's around him. That's a wrong way run. You're trying to protect your other runs by showing some misdirection. So the end crashes. Tim White's around the defense.
Looks like Bo might be changing the play here. He's under center. A wrinkle we do see from Scott Milanovich from time to time. The handoff to Bell. Nothing doing. Edmonton's D all over it.
Penetration at the point of attack. Pulling two people this way, but we get penetration on the backside of the play. Jake Seresna gets in there and is able to make the stop. Or Brinkman. Hard to see on that one. Right, good stop on a 1st and 10. Jared Brinkman and company.
Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11 for Hamilton. Mitchell dropping back to pass. Finds Tim White again. Good enough for a first down. Brought down just across midfield.
This is where the Elks defense has struggled. 9th in completion percentage against. So Tim White breaks in, pretending it's a dig, and then he breaks out. You do that to keep the will linebacker inside from expanding, and then you work back out to the sideline for a big first down completion. The Elks got to get better at the pass completion percentage. Passing TDs are 9th. Pass efficiency, they're 9th. Stopping the pass, area improvement.
This time the handoff to Greg Bell. Cuts inside. Good gain on first down. Picks up close to 7, maybe 6.
You know, talking with Scott Milanovich this week, he was talking about, you know, his time with Bo Levi. He's like, it took the same thing when he was with Ricky Ray. He said there was time where Ricky Ray, their Grey Cup season in 2012, it took till halfway through the season that it looked like Ricky knew how to play within Scott's system, and Scott knew how to call plays for Ricky. So certainly last year was their starting point, but Bo's just taken it to another, you know, just to another level this season, and adding Kenny Lawler to the mix, adding the stability on the O-line.
This time the fake to Bell. Ball rolls to his right, and the pass is knocked down. That is Noah Taylor, the defensive end with the knockdown. That's the first incompletion of the game.
Zone read. Bo ends up pulling this, but watch the recovery by Noah Taylor. Noah Taylor's going to start in. Bo pulls it, gets in the throwing lane, knocks the ball down. You need athletic ends on the perimeter because you're going to get put in that bind all the time. We're going to chase down the running back and then pull and play contain for the quarterback. Excellent play by Noah Taylor there on the 50-50 defensive end.
Situation for Hamilton. High end over end punt. League is going to take it at his own 17. Bounces to his left. Not much room there. Heads out of bounds. Cody Fajardo and the Elks offense with an opportunity. We will hear more about the future of the Elks quarterback from Tom Gazzola when we return to Commonwealth. Certainly some disappointment for Cody Fajardo when the Montreal Alouettes decided to go in a different direction, but he's found new life here in Edmonton, and he has now got the #1 completion percentage in CFL history at 71.2. He is 6 for 6 today. With more on his story, here's Tom Gazzola.
So far, so good. Farhand for Cody Fajardo and the Elks offense, and the grizzled vet, 9th season, 5th team, 33 years old, obviously has been through this league, knows what it's all about, and looking for the right opportunity, and he has an opportunity here with the Elks after taking over in week 6 from Trey Ford. He says things are a little bit murky going forward. He's got a young family, kids under the age of 2, and if the right chance presents itself, Cody could be playing a little bit longer in this league.
Cody pulls the ball over the shoulder throw to Curly Goodrich Jr. Productive play on first down there as Fajardo to his teammates.
This is the accuracy you're talking about also. He pulls it, watch the end recover. He's going to deliver a shot, but watch the location here. And Curly Gittens Jr. makes a great catch. But that's a great throw when you have somebody bearing down about to hit you. And that's why Cody's at the top of the list for completions.
2nd and 4 here for Fedroda. The quick pass. This time Stephen Dunbar takes a big hit. Reggie Stubblefield right there to keep Dunbar a yard short of the first down. Interesting decision coming up here for Edmonton.
You're going to see some pictures, some extra rushers, a lot of blitzes coming. You got Hauser, the defensive end, inside. See both defensive ends come inside. Big blitz pickup on the inside to get that throw out on the perimeter. A lot of work for the Edmonton Elks. Offensive line versus Ticats showing a lot of different looks early on, but they're picking it up.
First 2 and out of the game for the Elks. Grace on to attempt to punt here. Nice high spiral, which puts Isaiah Wooden to his own 20-yard line. After a 59-yard kick, he breaks the first couple, gets out to the 35-yard line as Edmonton limits the damage. Bo Levi Mitchell on his way. He is so close to passing Doug Flutie for 9th on the all-time CFL passing list. We'll see if he gets it when we come back. During his heyday, all Bo Levi Mitchell ever did was win games, especially in those early seasons in Calgary. He now has joined a pretty exclusive list here, moving into 7th place all-time in wins.
Being in Calgary was such a good place for him with obviously John Huffnagel, Dave Dickinson. He was able to really learn the game from 2 of the greats in the CFL.
Elks showing blitz. Let's see if Mitchell changes the play here. Edmonton doesn't blitz this time. The quick pass to Kenny Lawler. Defender right there for the tackle. J.J. Ross. And Bo is now 6 yards away from passing Doug Flutie to move into 9th place on the all-time passing list.
A lot less huddling up from this Ticats offense because they want Bo to be back, looking at the coverage, seeing what's happening, changing plays at the line of scrimmage. Allows Bo to see what's happening from the defensive standpoint. It also allows him to get out of a bad play. So they try not to huddle anymore to conserve time to be able to see the defense.
2nd and 4 this time. Bo going deep. That one a little underthrown. Got caught up there on his way to Kenny Lawler. You know that Bo wanted to break the record with a long ball, didn't you?
Kenny Lawler on the double move, taking the opportunity. They got him open. See Kenny Lawler right here. He's going to come up, in, and then go. I don't know if it's quite a sluggo. It's a deeper one. Goes in on a dig or curl and go. All you have to do is stop, feet. Tyrell Ford's looking in the backfield a little bit. Just underthrown. I'm sure Bo would love to have that one back.
Tyrell Ford pretty happy with how that one ended. And another 2 and out for Hamilton, something we've now seen twice. We haven't seen a lot of that this season. Javon Leake takes the punt at his own 20-yard line. Fights his way for maybe 8 yards.
This guy's drunk all the time. Every time I hear this commercial, this guy's getting drunk. This guy, Lord. Is he in college? Plymouth State College with me? Good Lord, back in the day?
Yeah, I'm not going to touch that. Edmonton with a couple of extra linemen into the game now to try to help protect Cody. This time, he has an opening. This time it is Keon Julian Grant across the 40, across the 35. Big gain on the play for Edmonton.
One of the changes you're seeing from this Elks offense is a couple of extra offensive linemen in to help blocking. Cody still does take a shot, but these are 2 deep crossing posts. One of them gets dropped. Keon Julian Grant gets this huge gain of 47 yards on the deep crossing routes with the max protection. And Cody's still sitting in there slinging it even though he's taking shots.
Edmonton in field goal range right now. This time the handoff to Leak. Cuts inside, has some room, cuts back again. Nice gain on first down by Javon Leak to the 7
sometimes is difficult. Pressure off this side, but you have an outside zone play right here, and you're going to make one cut and get north-south. And that's what you're trying to watch the defense stretched, foot in the ground, in, and then back out. This is one of the best things Javon Lee can do. Widen people out, find a crease, get north-south on outside zone. Big first down on first down.
Edmonton's third trip to the red zone. They're 2 for 2 earlier. Another handoff downhill to Javon Lee. Not as much there that time, but still manages to pick up a couple.
Yeah, there's a couple yards, but like an interesting thing, if you look at the rushing stats from last year to this year, they really have not made it a feature of running the football, when you have Justin Rankin and Javon Lee. And I think people are, let's help Cody. Let's help Trey Ford early in the season, making sure we have some run game. But I like the commitment so far. And again, you have to keep calling runs, even though it's not working sometimes. You have to be patient in the run game, and it's sometimes hard because you put yourself in second and longs a lot.
48 rushing yards so far. This time, the swing pass to Rankin, good enough for close to first down yardage as he gets back into the game. Cody Fajardo 10 for 10 in the first half as we get close to the 3-minute whistle.
And that's the best thing about Cody Fajardo. One of the reasons he is so accurate because how quickly he processes. He sees nobody's out in the flat here. Rankin's out by himself. The coverage has lifted, so he immediately changes his drop and throws it outside. And you always want to throw the ball when the defense is most out of position. So the ball's out quickly, gets 9-yard gain, put him first and goal.
First and goal at the 6-yard line for Fajardo and the Elks. This time the fake to Bell, the underhand shovel to Bell. Does he get in? No, just short. Very creative play there. And that takes us to the 3-minute warning. Edmonton knocking on the door again. Cody Fajardo with the flip.
Underhand flip.
Nice tackle by Wilburn to prevent the touchdown.
What do we ask for before every single game?
A great game.
And what do we got?
A great game.
By the way,
And
Bill
lots of
Stiegel,
scoring.
he may be a fortune teller at this point. I got to tell you, he talked about Willie yesterday. He talked about Cody in the pregame today. Listen to Milt, people.
We always do. I always do.
Yeah, words to live by. Listen to Mills. Snyder on to attempt the 3rd and 1. Does he get in? Touchdown, Edmonton. The Elks cap off another solid drive and take the lead with 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. Lapo, who had that on their scorecard?
They're making quick plays on the outside. They've got more explosive plays. Yeah, the change to Cody Fajardo has obviously energized this unit. Since the bye week, they've gotten better defensive play.
I'll tell you what the real change has been here. I'm in this seat instead of Dustin.
Oh, there it is, huh?
It's got to be that. Dustin, if you're listening, have a good call in Montreal. Let's take a look. Is this before the kick here? We got to take a look at the replay center and see if they call this a touchdown or not.
There was a lot of penetration that stopped it.
After automatic review by the replay center, the ball carrier knee was down prior to reaching the goal line. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. It will be 3rd down.
All right. Let's take a look.
You're going to see penetration early on right here. You can see when you get stood up like that and stopped, Gregor McKellar gets dropped back. That just slows everything down. Wilburn can come off the edge, and the ball doesn't cross the white yard line. So it's going to pose this 3rd and 1. And 3rd and 1, you go for it right here. You trust your O-line. Find which way. Go a little bit wider path on the wedge. Find an opportunity to get in.
Yeah, Mark Killam didn't hesitate. He sent Cole Snyder back out there again, who already has his first career touchdown in this game. This time slides to the left. Nothing doing. Hamilton with the stop. Wow, what a turn of events here. A huge huge stop by Hamilton shortly before halftime.
Deshaun Amos right here. You'll see Deshaun Amos. He's coming across, and he's the end man on line scrimmage. You got to get inside before Deshaun Amos gets there. He doesn't. He gets pushed outside. Amos is there to make the stop. Once again, penetration from up front. Miles Fox created that. Miles Fox forces the quarterback back outside to Amos and then makes the stop. Huge stop when you're talking about the 1 yard line. Keeping him out of the end zone.
Mark Corte, the injured Elk, at the 2 yard line, and he was the player that got beat by Fox, stood up, and that was where the play ended for Edmonton right there. And the way things have gone for this team this season, you know, those are opportunities you eventually look back on. This team's had some resolve today where they've been able to overcome some adversity so far, but that's the biggest one they're going to deal with so far.
You can see them going to the right. The previous one, they got penetration going to the right side. They flip it. Let's go off tackle on the left-hand side. Once again, allowed some more penetration on that left one. Huge stop. Back them up.
Let's see what Hamilton does here with 2:17 to go. Certainly plenty of time to make their way down the field. But how conservative are you at your own 1 yard line when you've also got to navigate the goalpost?
Yeah, there's a couple of things you're going to do here. You're probably going to go on a hard cadence here. You should go hard cadence because there's really no penalty if you jump off sides.
Bo's got to pull it down. The quick pass to Giovanni Robinson, and Edmonton right there. Ross with the tackle.
And another situation in football backed up here. You see Bo throws to the right-hand side. Normally you're going to call plays that are going to go to the right because you got the goalpost right there. So you usually throw to the short side. Robinson out in the flat. Good completion. That's all you take. Get yourself second and medium. Just survive this and get the first down.
Bo approaching that record right now. 2nd and 5. He's got bigger things to worry about. Mitchell with the quick drop, the throw to Shamar Bridges. Good enough for a first down. And actually on the previous play, Bo Levi Mitchell did in fact pass Doug Flutie for 9th place on the CFL's all-time passing list.
That's quite a list. Doug Flutie, I grew up watching, and obviously one of the best players ever to play in this league. Congratulations, Bo, to move up all the way to 9th place. Move it to all-time passing leader. Spectacular career for Bo Levi Mitchell.
And he's on pace to have the past 2 seasons be the best 2 of his career. So what he's doing in his mid-30s has just been outstanding.
And the best thing about playing within this system, it's so much tied to getting the ball out of your hands quickly. And you can see that from Bo. Well, when you do that, you take less hits. When you keep doing that, you can probably play a couple more years. You can extend your career because you're not taking hits. You're getting the ball out of your hands quickly.
Yeah, I know there had been some suggestion this might be Bo's final year in the CFL. The way he's playing, there's no chance this is going to be.
There's a guy named Trevor Harris who's 38 years old, still playing this league at a high level.
2nd and a couple right now, 1:15 to go. Just on the handoff to Bell. Good enough for the first down, and you get the sense at some point here, Hamilton is going to take a shot.
Yeah, and keep mixing it up. You get extra tight ends in here, create opportunities for Greg Bell to get the ball up and inside. And when you get first downs, you get first down opportunities to take shots like you're talking about.
3 yards and a first down there as they get across the 25-yard line.
This is already a huge drive for them to take it from their 1 yard line. Even if they have to punt here, they flip the field. I used to call that the win zone because you got to get away from that backup position. Don't allow Edmonton's offense a short field.
Ball looks to Keandre Smith in traffic, catches the ball, stays on his feet before being dropped for 19 yards at the 45-yard line. 56 seconds. Long time to go here for the Ticats.
Vision and he threw this with anticipation and at a spot between 2 defenders where only Keandre Smith can make that. That's why Bo's a Hall of Famer. The location of that throw in between a defender underneath and a defender outside.
Now Hamilton going quick. Edmonton brings the blitz. Mitchell gets it out to Bell. Crosses midfield, crosses the 50-yard line. Another first down after a gain of 17.
Talked about him running as he climbs about. The best thing a quarterback can do is know where all your next receivers are. Watch him. He knows where his check down is as he's scrambling. He flips it to the left to Greg Bell. Gets the big first down. That's understanding where all your people are. That's understanding there's nobody else. I can make this throw. It's not a dangerous throw. I'm going to get tackled. Go make the throw. Put it in Greg Bell's hands so we can get the big first down play.
And Jared Brinkman and Niles Morgan both injured for Edmonton. They've got to leave the game. So can you imagine this now? With a couple of minutes to go, you're at the 1-yard line. And if Hamilton takes this in, we don't do a TSN turning point anymore, but these 2 minutes would be it.
Very difficult situation not getting in when you have that one opportunity to get yourself a touchdown. Going back to Bo here. Watching Bo, that was a deep shot. When we watched this play develop, hey, we're going to try to take a shot. It wasn't there. What did he do? He checked it down. And what did that check down do? Got a whole first down on that series. So he's doing what Scott Melanson wants. Hey, when the shots are there, take the shots. When they're not there, get your check downs.
Brock Mogensen comes into the game to replace Niles Morgan. Mitchell dealing with some pressure. Scrambles to his right. Looking deep. It's not there. He gets brought down. Big play for Edmonton at a time when they really needed it.
Good coverage by the Elks on the 4 receivers to the right. He's trying to look over there. Good coverage as he goes to scramble when contain is lost. Just can't find anybody else. Good coverage, picking people up as they go across. Logan with a good tackle in open field.
That was a time-consuming play. Hamilton calls the timeout now with 25 seconds left. They're at the 51-yard line. Leggio hasn't attempted a field goal longer than 47 yards this season. We know how perfect he's been, but they need a little bit more to get him in position for a field goal. Not sure how aggressive they're going to be trying to get a touchdown in this situation. Maybe before that last play they would. Now it's probably field goal, would you say?
Well, you're 2nd and 12, so you would have liked on that last play, instead of taking the hit, just throwing it away. That way you don't lose any yardage, in that situational football, trying to get yourself in field goal range. Now, with 2nd down, the Elks aren't going to give up anything. They're going to play zone under, take the underneath throw, get an 8-yard gain, and make it easier for Leggio to kick the field goal. That's what you're trying to do. In this situation, you're going to try to get 8 to 10 yards, make it 3rd and 2. Now it's a 48-yard field goal.
Leggio on a streak of 33 straight made field goals, including 18 for 18 this year. Career percentage of 86.9, which is 4th all time. Let's see if Hamilton can get him into that range. Big play for Edmonton right here.
Or you throw it to Kenny Waller for a touchdown. I don't know.
Penalty flags on the play. Mitchell drops back to pass. Looks for Keandre Smith. That comes up incomplete. I think the flag is offside. Hamilton as a receiver crossed the line of scrimmage, which means that'll get declined. And I don't think Hamilton kicks from here.
This would be too long, I think.
Offside. Hamilton number 4. That penalty is declined. It will be 3rd down.
Edmonton dodges a bullet there. And again, coming off the missed field goal, this is a big stop for Edmonton. The missed touchdown, I should say.
I think the bottom of the line right here, a little bit early in the waggle. You can be right on the line of scrimmage with your waggle. You just cannot be past the line of scrimmage on the waggle.
Kicks it out of bounds inside the 10-yard line with about 14 seconds to go here. 41-yard punt in the perfect position. Edmonton will take over with 14 seconds left.
Great stop by the Hamilton with 3 consecutive plays. 1 on the shovel play, 2 on the outside zone wedge, 3 this 3rd wedge right here. Amos and company stopping Snyder. Huge play. Doesn't even give, the best thing of this drive, it didn't give Edmonton opportunity, even get an opportunity to score right before the half, and that's what you're always trying to do. Take all the time off the clock so the Elks just have to go to victory offense.
Fajardo with the kneel down. He'll have to do it one more time, and the Elks will get the ball to start the second half. The first 3 drives all ended in touchdowns. Just 1 touchdown the rest of the way as both defenses have been settling in here.
You got to feel good. 14-14. Yeah, you're going to have to flush the you didn't score from the 1-yard line, but I think the defense is getting some stops. I think offensively, they're keeping teams off balance. The Cody's taken some hits, but he's had opportunities to throw the football, and he's made some nice throws downfield.
Let's take a look at Stephen Dunbar, who's having a fairly nice day. 4 receptions for 62 yards, including a couple of big second down conversions, and he is standing by at the sideline with Tom Gazzola.
Hey, Stephen. Stephen, you've got 62 yards through the air. How much does it help when you guys are putting more of an emphasis on putting the ball on the ground?
I mean, anytime you're playing balance and we execute well, I think this offense is sky's the limit for this offense. Quarterback is playing well, O-line's playing well, the receivers are running their routes, and we're catching the ball. So it's coming together.
I was going to ask you how much of a difference and how much adjusting is there to Cody?
It's been smooth. It's smooth. Cody's a hard-working guy. He shows up early, leaves late. He makes sure that everybody knows what they're doing, too, so it's been smooth.
What do you want to see from your group in this second half here?
Consistency. Just stand down, staying committed to the process, not getting too high, not getting too low, but just finishing.
Appreciate the time, Stephen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Stephen Dunbar Jr. and the Elks tied at 14 with the Ticats. Let's send it up to Kate and the panel.
All right, Tom, and that panel is Enoch Mwamba, Dave Naylor, Milt Stiegel. Some interesting comments there by Stephen Dunbar Jr.
He is.
He is. Cody Fajardo is clearly winning this locker room over as well, too. But look, I mean, you have to be happy with his performance. And let's say both these quarterbacks right now are playing out of their minds really till the end of that second quarter. Bo had been perfect as well. As we take a look at both their stats, Bo currently 16-19. He's got 184 in that 1 TD. Cody Fajardo is perfect. 11 for 11, 186 yards. And look, you can tell right now his team is buying in. And Milt, I'm really sick of giving you credit at this point. It's all I do on this show. But before this game, you said, especially after that game in SAS last week, you said watch Cody Fajardo and what he can do, and he is playing lights out right now.
The clairvoyant Milt Stiegel strikes again.
See, what am I doing? I walk in. Oh my God, it's too much.
First of all, congratulations to Bo Levi Mitchell for passing the great Doug Flutie, but I want to talk about Cody Fajardo. And in the offseason, I said this was the most important signing of the year. And I said that because, yes, Trey was their starter, but there was some uncertainty with Trey, and the fact that they had Cody there, they wouldn't miss a beat if they gave him a shot. He's getting a shot, and he's taking full advantage of it. Last week we saw him, it seems like he was trying to get comfortable, but this first half, he's comfortable. 11 for 11 for 186 yards. He's spreading the ball around. As you just saw the Dunbar interview, they want Cody to be their guy. That's what it seems like. I'm not in that locker room. I haven't talked to those guys, but based on that interview, they want Cody to be their guy, and right now he's their guy.
Yeah, he certainly is. And really, I mean, it's not like Cody Fajardo had a great drop-off, you know, at the end of last year. He's really just picking up where he was in Montreal. Speaking of picking up, I'm going to go back to August the 2nd last year, exactly 365 days ago. You know what happened? Bo Levi Mitchell started his last game before being benched by Scott Milanovic. Wow. He threw 2 interceptions in a 33-16 loss to the Montreal Alouettes, and he thought his time as a Ticat starting quarterback was done. Of course, Taylor Powell got hurt. Bo comes back, and this is the version of Bo we got the rest of the season and this year. Look, it's great to watch Bo Levi Mitchell playing some of the best football of his career. The CFL is better when Bo Levi Mitchell is on. The other thing I think we have to recognize in terms of the progress that he's made is he's been healthy for a long time. You know, his body, and you can see, and he's making some dynamic plays. He's not just sitting out there in the pocket. He's showing that he's got some versatility out there.
We were holding our breath, though, on a couple of those plays. We're like, Bo, slide, go down. We don't want him to get too confident.
He's talked about protecting himself better, but on one of those plays right before the half, you're right. He took a hit that he didn't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to. By the way, one of my favorite parts of having you on the panel, Dave, is you always have like a tidbit in that book of yours. You're like, yes, it was August the 2nd, 1972, when this particular thing happened.
365 days ago.
The offense has been fantastic, but Enoch, poor Enoch, sitting here the entire game is like, just give me one defense. defensive play to break down, and you finally got something.
I did get it, kid. In this type of games, it happens, right? When you get a perfect offense against a perfect defense, the offense is always going to make the play, right? But this game, we've been seeing such high-level offense, and this play right here was the one mistake that I knew at some point was going to happen, offensively speaking, for the Edmonton Elks. You see here, Miles Fox gets penetration, and Deshaun Amos does not make a mistake when it comes to making the tackle and not letting the quarterback get into the end zone. And that is exactly that one play that they might have needed to take the advantage. And so you want to make sure that you continue to stay the course. It's tough as a defense to watch an offense continuously make plays down the field, keep going down the field and all of that. But at the end of the day, you got to stay the course and make those plays when they come to you.
Feels like a game where one mistake is going to
You're waiting for a team to make a mistake. You know what? I gave these two compliments. I'm going to give you a compliment, Enoch. You're like our Cody Fajardo. First in, last out. What I do, Enoch.
I'm trying to do it, man.
Oh, if people...
I can't believe you said that.
Hey, come on, Milk. Give a little credit. By the way, we have a great matchup, too, coming up. We thought that this was going to be the matchup of the day this afternoon between the Alouettes and the Riders, but this game tied at 14 seems to be the one so far. Talking about accuracy when it comes to Bo Levi Mitchell and Cody Fajardo today, but how about Trevor Harris? 25 for 33 last week. It extended his CFL record of games with 70-plus completion percentage to 10 now. He has been absolutely fantastic at 39 years young, but he's going against this ferocious Alouettes defense this afternoon. For second in sacks this season with 16, but his Rough Riders on the other side of the ball, I mean, they have been phenomenal as well defensively. They've already got 20 sacks this season. That game going 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Cannot wait for that one. And we look at the Saskatchewan defense, and look, we give a lot of love to the Sassy offense as well, too, but my goodness, their defense has been so fantastic this season.
They absolutely have been, and you look at the last week that they played, they went crazy when it comes to the defensive line. 8 sacks on defense, and that made a difference in the game. And you look at the impact that that has. Whenever you look at a defense that is successful, you're going to see a lot of pressure. Sometimes it's not necessarily just a sack, but a lot of pressures, and the DBs always are the ones that benefit from that, and they are doing just that. Obviously, this year, they haven't had as many turnovers as they've had over the course of the last couple of years, but this is where they want to get to, and it starts up front. They're doing just that. So when you're looking at these two defenses that we're going to watch and the matchup that it's going to be, you look at the Montreal Alouettes last week, they won against the Calgary Stampeders, but they didn't have any sacks at all. So I'm looking to see what kind of pressure they're going to generate tonight as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. And Saskatchewan, I think on both sides of the ball, has done a great job controlling the line of scrimmage this season, getting sacks, preventing sacks, those kinds of things. The place they've been a little bit soft on defense has been on the back end, which, as you say, when you're getting that kind of pressure, it should alleviate some of the pressure that's on the back end of the defense. Interesting matchup today with McLeod Bethel-Thompson, a quarterback who's not that mobile. You know that they're going to be trying to get home, but he's also a big arm guy who can get the ball down the field. So I think some interesting dynamics to watch in that matchup. See if Saskatchewan can tighten up on the back end a little bit.
Yeah, Enoch, you talked about that pressure that Montreal wants, where they're hoping that the Eliminator, they're hoping he can help them out. And this is a special player. Say what you want to. Sean Lemon can play some football. He's the only current player with over 100 sacks. And Enoch, when did you join the CFL?
2011.
That's the same year he joined it. But why is he still playing and you're not?
Well, he missed a year, though. So,
well, he told me that. He said he felt like he got redshirt. He feels 23 now, so he's looking to have a big game. The fact that you're 36 and you're still playing, that says a lot about you. He's a special player. So we're all excited to see how he plays in this game, and this Montreal defense just got a little bit better because the Eliminator is returned.
And Sean Lemon, he's still involved with this team, and this whole team has so much respect for him in the locker room. And so sometimes when he gets in the game, whether he has a sack or not, he impacts the game.
Well, we had to look up his age today, too. We're like, is he 36? Is he 30? To play that position at 36 years old.
It's so rare to see.
I know.
Given everything else he's been through, it's surprising to see him there.
Although we know Enoch could still do it. Come on.
Do what?
I chose to leave Milton.
He wanted to come here.
I'm still shutting down offers right now.
No, you're not. No one's offered you anything.
Look. What jail offered you, Enoch?
What's wrong with you?
Happy Saturday, Canada. It is the first of a CFL on TSN doubleheader.
It's DeAndre Smith with the touchdown. He had a big game last week. First and goal, Rankin again, and he scores. Justin Rankin has to move around
entertaining first half of football. The two quarterbacks combined for 27 of 30 for 370 yards, 90% passing for those two quarterbacks. Keandre Smith at the receiving end of the one passing touchdown from Bo Levi Mitchell. He's with Tom Gazzola.
Keandre, I know you guys weren't able to capitalize when you had that the rush there at the end of the game, but how important was it to get the stop from your defense?
I mean, that stop was big. Anytime you... It was a big opportunity, and then we moved the ball out, gave us a chance to get some points, so it was a good ending.
You guys are on a heater right now. How comfortable are you guys in tight games in the second half?
Never stressed, but they're professionals too, and we have to do our jobs in order to come out with a win.
What do you want to see different from your group in this second half?
I don't want to see nothing different. I just want us to come together and execute.
Appreciate the time, Keandre.
Thank you, sir.
Very serious, Keandre Smith.
Serious. There's Bo. You know,
Bo's rarely serious.
Except when he's fired up on the field, right? He's throwing his palms up. Keandre Smith, 4 catches, 73 yards, 26-yard long, and a touchdown. So you can see that he's a high priority once again in this system. You know, the Stamps defensively, I'm thinking about, or the Ticats defensively. I say Stamps because Ticats are bringing all kinds of blitzes and pressures to this Elks offense, and I thought the offense held up trying to handle all these different blitzes.
Javon Leake with a good punt return in that first half. Now he's going to get a kickoff return right here across midfield to set his team up well for the opening drive of the third quarter.
Nice return, right up the numbers, bounce back in. Really good balance and moves to the sideline, up that sideline return, flip the field. Nice by the special. Javon Leake makes a great play. Great field position to start for this Elks offense.
From Hamilton's 53-yard line, Cody Fajardo 11 for 11 in that first half. This time Rankin bounces to his right, splits a pair of defenders and crosses the 40-yard line. Gain of 13, almost 14 to open up the third quarter.
Once again, you can bounce it back when teams overplay, and that's what Rankin does. As you see, he starts one way, he sees color flash, bounces it, winds it all the way back for the big first down on first down. With extra tight ends in the game, Farhan, some extra stuff.
Yeah, Devin Varasek with the tackle, and he's the injured Ticat right now. Varasek's been a real impactful player for this team since taking over as the starter in week 3. Began with the interception return for a touchdown in his first game as a starter, and has been pretty noticeable throughout. The number 2 selection in the 2025 CFL draft.
Yeah, as I said off the top of the show, you know, I talked to Ted Gavai today, and we talked about Varasek, and he just said, you know, the guy hasn't played a ton of football. I think his ceiling, when he gets with some of these professional coaches, he's going to improve. We knew his testing was out through the roof. You know, he was fast, big, strong. Let's see what happens here to him.
Makes the tackle, gets rolled, his head hits the ground.
Up on.
Talking to Stavros Katsantonis about the new starting inside linebacker, and he said that this guy looks like he can squat the building and still run 4.5. We'll come back to see how the linebacker's doing.
Who needs a 70% completion when you can be 100%, 11 for 11? And it wasn't just short checkdowns. There was some downfield throws like this one right here. There's throws versus duress. He's on point, in rhythm, making plays. The underneath shovel play. Stephen Dunbar's got 4 catches, 62 yards. So a good first half for Cody. Edmonton's averaging 11.69 yards on first down in the first half.
And almost 17 yards per completion for Fajardo. Devin Varasek, meanwhile, walked off under his own power. Looked like it's not going to be that serious. He's in the tent right now. Rankin with the carry there gets 5 yards on first down. Varasek pointing to his back before he went into the tunnel, or into the tent, I should say. Ryan Baker coming in to replace him. Baker, who started a good chunk of games last year at the inside linebacker spot.
In field goal range here for Cody. In a good position on second and medium.
2nd and 5. Fajardo with the straight drop back. Checks it down to Rankin. As he fights for the first down, breaks some tackles, still on his feet. Wilburn trying to bring him down. Moxley trying to bring him down. Rankin still going. Inside the 10, no, make it to 13 before finally being run out of bounds. A physical play by Justin Rankin.
Couldn't find his picture on the left-hand side. Trying to find what throw I'm going to make over there. Doesn't like it. Go ahead. Find Rankin underneath before the Ticats can get there. And that's, I always say this, quarterbacks, you're never going to go put money in the bank. If you've got a really good tailback, give him the ball in space. Let him make people miss in space. And it's going to turn a 2nd and 5-yard gain. Should be a first down. What did that turn into? An explosive run. Push you down inside the 20-yard line in the red zone.
Rankin forces 3 missed tackles. This is now the 4th red zone opportunity for Edmonton. We know what happened in the last one when they got stopped down near the goal line. Fajardo drops back to pass. Has it over the receiver. It's Rankin. Touchdown! Edmonton. Rankin, this time again through the air. A 13-yard touchdown pass, and Edmonton takes their first lead of the game.
Catches on the wheel route up the sideline. Rankin in the backfield. He's going to release out and just go to the back of the end zone. The linebacker's going to be in man. He's going to run underneath and be not in position. Rankin outruns Wilborn to the back of the end zone. Easy throw for Cody. Great execution on the wheel route into the boundary.
A 54-yard, a 4-play, 53-yard touchdown drive following the good return by Javon Leake to set them up in great position. Edmonton now with a 7-point lead early in the third quarter. Justin Rankin played arena football 3 years ago, said he just wanted to get back outside. He looks good out here on a beautiful afternoon in Edmonton.
Touchdowns are made by Rubs into the red zone. There's one. He's going to run the post to carry out. The inside receiver, he's going to set the pick on Wilborn, and then you wheel up the sideline. Go ahead and roll it, guys. There's the rub, forcing him under. You always want to force the linebacker under, and he has no position to cover on the wheel out for Rankin. Perfect execution of picking the linebacker, so he has to go underneath, and the wheel route goes right over the top of the touchdown. Great execution by the Elks.
Big kick pushes Wooden back to his own 1-yard line. And a big tackle by Edmonton right there. Looks like it was Kobe Williams with the tackle. Verisek injured on that last series. Talking to the trainers, let's see if he comes back as he runs, doing some sprints on the sideline. A rare situation for Hamilton right now as they trail in this game. Keith Brugling on the boot, catches the pass from Bo Levi Mitchell, gets out to the 35-yard line. Pick up a 14 and a first down.
Little misdirection. You'll see Keaton come in this part of the screen and out in the flat. It's a little naked bootleg. Bo boots out, gets Keaton behind the line of scrimmage for a big gain. Keaton Brugling came over as a free agent last year from Ottawa. I actually drafted him in the 4th round a couple years ago. Big athletic kid, just needed a little bit more time to develop.
And the 8th different receiver to catch a pass for Mitchell today. That one in behind Greg Bell. Falls incomplete. That's going to bring up 2nd and 10.
The play action pass, misdirection screen, just off on a little bit with the location to Greg Bell. That forces the 2nd and long situation. Trying to slow down Brinkman and the company.
A rare miss for Mitchell. Edmonton's defense under J.C. Sherritt really has settled down.
The miscue on 1st and 10 makes it a 2nd and 10 situation. A little bit of pressure coming off Robbie Smith drops out into coverage, runs down, and again just stops it for a 5-yard gain.
League has already had one return, a punt return in this game of over 35. That's 4 on the season. Let's see what he does here. Sidewinder kick pins League near his own sideline. Not much room there before he's brought down at his own 37-yard line.
Justin Rankin showing up. 2 touchdowns today. One by the run, one by the wheel route up into the boundary. Showing his skills. I love talking to him this week, as you talked about Farhan. He's really enjoys being with this team. Just loves the community. Loves being an Elk. And you know, he did say, "Hey, we just got to execute. We got to get more plays, and then the runs will come." We just want to. We're really concerned to get him wins more so than touches and carries.
83 yards of total offense for Rankin, and the 2 touchdowns, as you mentioned. You talked about the fact that last year the running game didn't really get going until the second half of the season. There is still time, but they also understand from a win-loss standpoint there really isn't a lot of time.
And last year he had some huge games. You see this game here versus the Ticats, 108 yards, 3 touchdowns. You know, it might change a little bit because of what you got. Cody Fajardo is one of the most accurate quarterbacks. So as a coordinator, you're also always trying to figure out, get the ball in my most productive player's hands. So if Cody's completing passes at such a high level, well, you may throw it a little bit more on first down than running it. And it's always a give and take. You always say, hey, I want to establish a run. Well, your quarterback may not get to throw the ball a lot, and you want to get him in rhythm. So you just want to mix and match, and hopefully you can get enough time that everybody touches the ball.
Fajardo had the offense in meeting and watching film 30 minutes before their regularly scheduled meeting yesterday. And that speaks to his leadership, according to the coaches, and that wasn't necessarily happening before. So the other thing was that Fajardo got all the first-team reps this week, or a big majority, as opposed to last week he was splitting time with Trey Ford. So Cody's that much more comfortable right now. Javon Leake stays in the game after the return. Picks up around 4 yards on first down. That'll bring up 2nd and 6. As Jordan McSimic looks like in the second half here, he wants to stick with the run game.
Another pretty picture of an outside zone watch. Watch Javon Leake working for width. When the line displaces, just steps up inside, makes one cut, gets north-south into the inside. You know, back to Cody. I mean, Cody's been with so many, Ricky Ray, different people. He's been, Trevor Harris. He's worked with so many other people that it's a little bit more comfortable probably for him as a veteran to run meetings, do everything he needs to.
Quick pass to Curly Gibbs Jr. That's going to be short of a first down on 2nd and medium. Likely going to force Edmonton to punt. Also should note Devin Verasek was not in the game on these last couple of defensive plays. It's still Ryan Baker at inside linebacker, as Verasek has his helmet off on the sideline.
Peters, good recognition on Peters right there, making this stop on 2nd and 5 on the quick outcut. Okay, he's playing Dunbar, falls back inside to force this punt.
Peters, an East Division All-Star last year. Isaiah Wooden, deep to take this kick. That one gets to the sideline. He takes it with one hand on one bounce. Wooden, fighting his way up the left sideline, gets to around the 35-yard line before being run out of bounds. This game heating up, 21-14 Edmonton on a beautiful afternoon here in the northern Alberta capital.
Hey, Bo, congratulations on flying right past me on that all-time career passing list. Everyone just raves about you as a leader, as a teammate. Congratulations. Keep it rolling, stay healthy, and keep climbing that ladder.
CFL royalty right there.
You know, they have this thing called Room Raider. You know, what happened in COVID, like what's in the back of your ground, in the background of your videos. That's amazing. Heisman Trophy. I don't even know what all those other awards were back there. Doug Flutie's the legend. I grew up as a kid from New Hampshire watching Doug Flutie. And yeah, it's great to see Bo make strides and continue to assault this passing record.
I had a chance to watch him a lot in all of his stops in the CFL. What a treat that was. This time the quick fake, pass inside to Keandre Smith. when he came to the BC Lions, just how much excitement there was, and it took until the second year before he really got things going. Once he got things going, there was no stopping Doug Flutie.
And his ability, watching film of him, he dropped back so deep and then threw the ball downfield. Defensive linemen are like, if I don't want to run all the way up there. He's going to make me look stupid. He's going to run around me and then scramble away. He was just so fun to watch. I was fortunate. When I took the job of the Argos in 2000, they had some old VCR tapes of Doug Flutie, and my first 2 months in the office, I just kept watching Argonauts film from 97, 98, well, 96, 97.
He just used to love the Battle of Alberta. Talked about that when he first went to the NFL, so you know he had plenty of success in games here at Commonwealth, but
I met him once. Pinball gets named the head coach in 2000. He comes up for the ceremony. He's at the Buffalo Bills, and he goes, Paul, why don't you come to lunch with us? I'm like, I'm not going to lunch with you and Doug Flutie. You kidding me? So, yes, we went, his family, myself, Pinball's family, and we were talking shovel passes, all different things, and at the end of the night, he's like, Paul, don't forget the shovel pass. And I'm like, I can't believe Doug Flutie's talking football with me. This is awesome.
Bo Levi Mitchell, not much going for Greg Bell on that first carry. That's going to bring up 2nd and 9 for him. Close to midfield. Bo drops back, looks to the left, looks to his right, finds Keandre Smith. Run out of bounds well short. We got helmets off at around the 35-yard line.
And this is what the Edmonton Elks have done for 2 weeks in a row. Pretty good. They're showing a blitz look, and then they bail everybody out into a deep zone. They're already in 2nd and long. They're forced 2nd and long. All they have to do is rally up and make the tackle. And that's what they've done in the second half. Kobe Williams comes up, make that stop. They're not losing the first down battle. They're creating 2nd and long, and Bo's checking it down.
Hamilton offense, looks like Bo Levi Mitchell is still out there. See what's happening here. I can't imagine they're going to go for it here. Was there a penalty we missed? The sticks are still showing 3rd down.
This is a long way, even a penalty here for,
wow,
if you tried to get him off sides, that's still not going to get you first down yardage. So interesting here.
Very interesting. They're snapping it. This is not just a ploy. Mitchell in traffic, looking deep for Keandre Smith, and he's got it. With a defender all over him, Bo Levi Mitchell finds the open target for a huge gain down to the 10-yard line. 40 yards on that play.
How about that? It's 3rd and 7. You think it's going to become a sack? What I remember of Bo Levi Mitchell early in his career in Calgary, he was the best in the CFL doing this, climbing the pocket and knowing where your post was in the middle of the field. That's what he did right there. He's climbing the pocket, knowing somebody is going to be down the middle of the field as I scramble, and he hits the post. Huge play, once again, to his favorite receiver, Keandre Smith.
Jake Ceresna is going to have nightmares about that play. Smith at 137 yards now. There's 50 yards on that play, not 40. This time, Bo scrambles, finds Keaton Brudley. He breaks a couple of tackles, still on his feet inside the 5-yard line.
Keaton's a powerful, big-bodied player. We drafted him when I was in Ottawa because we felt he had the ability to grow into a good football player. It's going to take some time. Could be, especially we took him. Very next pick, Keandre Smith was taken. But this is what you like about Keaton Brugling. Low center of gravity, break tackles, strong, physical football player.
Makes you think right now Hamilton is in 3-down territory.
Well, if they were going for it on 3rd and 7 from the 50, I think, yeah, they'll go for it here at 3rd down.
Bo Levi Mitchell dropping back. Not much there. He escapes one tackle. Rolls to his right. Finds Tim White for a touchdown. Bo Levi Mitchell again keeps it alive. What a play as he stares down the Edmonton bench.
Similar to play they scored from Ottawa a couple of weeks ago. Covered very well by the Elks. But when you give a quarterback too much time to walk around, he can locate the ball right on the sideline. Tim White toe taps, keeps his feet in bounds. Great by Tim White here. Watch this. That's what you need from your receiver, the awareness and understanding where you are on the sideline, have concentration to see the ball in your hands, and get those feet in bounds.
6-play, 75-yard drive. And Bo has never been known for being an athlete, even though he'll tell you he has played a lot of baseball growing up. But in the last couple of weeks, he's shown so much more of that. Edmonton last in the league in sacks generated. That showed on that last series their inability to finish those sacks. And we are tied
We do this all day.
with 5:55 remaining in the third quarter. Bo Levi Mitchell doing it all on that drive, gets his team tied. This is a look at Hamilton's long snapper, Gordon White, and he is injured and was in the medical tent. So we believe that when Hamilton went for it on 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8 right around midfield, that it was because they didn't have their long snapper available, and it ended pretty well for them.
He's finding opportunities. 3rd down, he climbs the pocket, he said, finds Condre Smith in the middle of the field. Throw the ball as you climb the pocket. Look for the deepest throw. Hits Keaton Bruggeling. Bruggeling breaks a couple of tackles. Off-schedule throw to Tim White. Bo is on task, whether it's down the field or the checkdowns or using his legs.
And after the touchdown, he stared right at Edmonton's bench, right at Mark Killam. And when Mark got hired in Edmonton, Bo texted me and said he's going to be great. Like, they spent a lot of time together in Calgary. Bo absolutely loves him, so I'm sure it was, semi-good-natured. But, yeah, doing it against one of his former favorite assistant coaches. Javon Leake takes the return, gets tackled right around the 33-yard line. And here's a look pregame at Mark Killam and another good friend of his, Brent Monson. These two cut their teeth coaching-wise in the Calgary organization under John Huffnagel, under Dave Dickinson. Spent a lot of time together. You talk about drinks earlier. I'm sure they had plenty of those, and now they get to go head-to-head in this game.
Yeah, and Brent Munson, it's taken a little while, but this defense is leading the CFL in takeaways. He's done a great job with this with this defense. Got some veterans in the secondary, and they're performing very well.
Rankin with some room. Big run by Justin Rankin. Close to 20 yards, call it 19, across his own 50 to the 52-yard line. They're going to love this. Downhill runs.
A little bit of backside bend after you pull a guard. This is a staple for the Edmonton Elks the past couple of years running this play. The shoulders are square for the tailback. He can decide, am I going to the right? Am I going to the left? Teams overplay it. He can bounce it back like he did right there for a huge gain. Very difficult for defenses to handle.
And the reason I said they love it is because it's not an RPO. You know it's a run. There's no option to pull. Not much there. Julian Grant gets tackled in the backfield for a loss of 4. Little misdirection there with the sweep.
And a little pressure coming from the outside as the misdirection sweep. They brought Peters off the edge on a run blitz. Unfortunately, he's at the point of attack of the run blitz. You can see him blitzing right here from a corner blitz. He's right in a position to make the play. Keep contained. Physical hit.
Loss of 5 on the play. That's going to bring up 2nd and 15. And this is a situation Edmonton's managed to avoid. Another blitz look by Edmonton. Fajardo drops back, gets away from 2 defenders, looks to the sideline, and it gets there. Arkell Smith with the reception, but well short of the first down.
We just been talking about a little bit of pressure. He's bringing multiple people off this side and dropping other people out. You can see this. This is forcing one-on-one situations, making it difficult. Cody has to scramble and go. Cody is 16 of 16 right now, completions.
Yeah, ball hung up for a little bit, looked dangerous, but ultimately he keeps the completion streak alive.
Push by the Ticats defense there with a zone blitz off pressure off the front side.
Cody Grace on to punt. High skying punt. Wooden comes up to take it at his own 16. Flag on the play. Looks like it's going to be no yards as the defender was down there with the hang time on that kick.
No yards. Edmonton number 32. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Keandre Smith here, 24 catches, 21 catches, 275 yards, and 3 touchdowns. You know, we talked about this going the last couple of weeks. Is like, how do you... Kenny Lawler's done so many great things. We got to do something else to handle him. Who are you going to have to get it to? Other players on the field. Keandre Smith shows up. Been amazing with the touchdowns, be able to catch the ball. And again, he talked about it this week. It's like, I'm not as fast. I didn't have a great 40 time at the combine. I was embarrassed at some of my testing, but I knew I'm a smart football player. Quarterbacks are going to trust me. I'm going to be at the right place at the right time, and I'll make my plays.
I asked him about what happened last week in terms of how BC defended Kenny Lawler, and he said, I was disrespected. This is Keandre Smith again with the reception. Not much here, but certainly a person that...
A little harsh. A little harsh, Keandre, but...
Yeah, he said he was annoyed by it. He felt disrespected by it, and he certainly took advantage of it. And, you know, he doesn't lack for confidence. I asked him about Adrian, his father, and, you know, what he used to say to him growing up in terms of building his confidence, especially after the draft didn't go as well as he wanted. He said, my dad...
Edmonton, number 13. 10-yard penalty will result in a first down.
He said, my dad didn't need to fuel my ego. I was plenty confident.
Ego is good. Farhan, egotism's bad. So you need to have an ego to compete at this. You can see penalty right there. Okay, that penalty by Jackson right there from his Sam linebacker spot.
Should it make me feel old that I covered his father?
I coached his father.
Well, see, this is
I was going to work with him anyways.
Adrian, I'm sure you're watching. Enjoy what your son's been doing the last couple of weeks because it's been outstanding. Greg Bell takes the screen out of the backfield, picks up maybe 7 on that play, gets to the 48-yard line, and another injured Elk. Niles Morgan was injured earlier. That could be him again.
Slowing down this pass rush. You got 5 rushers here. Jumping out on the screen pass. Get 2 linemen out. Cut up, back and inside on the 2. Inside your 2 offensive linemen. One's going to kick out. One's going to pull up the alley, and you want to get north-south. Follow the big men. Then Morgan gets hurt as he's making the tackle. You see him right there going down as he makes the tackle.
Essentially a somersault or a flip as it was before landing on his back. Slow to get up and walk off. Niles Morgan with 3 tackles today. Played his best game of the season last week against Saskatchewan. A real bounce-back effort. He didn't like the way he started the season, but looks like he's headed in the right direction. He's had 218 tackles and 6 sacks in the 23 and 24 seasons in those 2 years. That is productivity.
Just got a lot younger with Joel DeBlanco starting at the weak side linebacker. And the injury there. Another change to the linebacker core. And Morgeson in there.
Extra tight ends in the game right now for Hamilton. This time the give to Bell. He had stood up at the line of scrimmage, but falls forward for enough yardage for the first down right around midfield.
Cover your edges. Get your tailback to shoulder square on 2nd and 3. Nice run for Bell. Get the first down yardage, especially with 2, with your starting linebacker out of the game.
Inside of 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Hamilton driving their best drive of the 2nd half, since their score at least. Mitchell with the play action. Has some time. Can he evade this one? Throws it away with Joel DeBlanco in hot pursuits. A rare incompletion for Bo. Smart play, though.
Joe DeBlanco comes off the front side edge here, forces Bo to throw the ball outside. You can see Blanco's right here. He's going to pressure off the edge. They bring both the middle linebacker, or the weak side linebacker, and the Sam linebacker. He gets through, forces Bo to throw it away as he's trying to get it downfield to Kenny Lawler. Just didn't have time to throw it to Kenny.
2nd and 10. I can spread it out a bit here. Mitchell with pressure drops back and comes up short, looking to Greg Bell. Not much time to set up and get much on that throw as Edmonton's defense punt, although will it? We're still waiting to see what's happening with the long snapper. It looks like Mitchell's still on the field at 3rd and 10.
Little mistake in protection here. The line slides this way. And basically, when they slide all the way across, they don't have enough people. They leave Noah Taylor in that open B gap. You can't do that. That's going to force the quarterback to have to throw it quickly.
You know, there are some high school programs in the U.S. that never, ever punt. Is that what we're going to get for the rest of the game?
Could be.
Edmonton showing blitz and bow punts. With the onside kick that's taken by Ross at his own 30, and he just goes down.
Yep, quick kick. That's one of the things you will do in certain situations. You can kick. You know, it happens a little bit more in the United States, some of the United States college games, but the quarterback just takes 1 or 2 steps and he punts it. So you think, basically you do that because you don't have a punt team on. You get your defense on the field, they're ready to play defense, and then you punt the football, so you don't allow a return any way, shape, or form. So you may not get the best punt in the world from Bo, but you at least get an opportunity. You at least get no return on. You shouldn't get much of a return at all. And I assume that's Bo Levi Mitchell's first punt ever.
Gordon White, you saw there on the sidelines with ice on his shoulder getting wrapped up. I would not expect to see him back in the game. I would assume for emergencies, Hamilton has an emergency backup snapper, but we haven't seen him in the last 2 situations. You're around midfield. Why not?
Yeah.
He probably thinks, look, I'm showing you I can run. I can punt too.
And you're also going to, you know, if you're going to trust your defense, so you're going to go for it. Anything that's under 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, you're probably going to go for it. Anything deeper than that, you're going to have to find a way to do something. You would always had somebody who's your emergency long snapper that gets some reps throughout the course of the week. I think one of the years I was in Winnipeg, it was
the game is stopped for lightning.
Wow. Looks like we've got some lightning in the area. We weren't expecting that in what was a beautiful afternoon. What we're missing now is Matthew Shinetti, because generally when the weather is bad, Shinetti shows up.
I guess there's, it's pretty clear skies right here, but I guess there's lightning in the air. I see the drone going up in the air. The drone's trying to go
All
up
the
high.
players need to go into the dressing room for lightning.
Well, we will see. So I guess we'll see what happens from a lightning perspective. We can be here. We're going to protect ourselves. Fans are starting to walk underneath. Pretty clear skies here, Farhan, but the league's calling it.
Well, we're going to have some time to fill here, needless to say. So let's talk about what we've seen to this point, because a lot of fireworks in the early stages of this game, but Edmonton has managed to respond in every situation. You know, they were able to play from ahead when Hamilton looked like they were going to get momentum. Like, this is the most complete version of the Edmonton Elks we have seen at any point this season.
And Mark Kellemet's just, when I asked him a couple weeks ago, I said, what are you doing? What are you working with your players? So the biggest thing is I'm trying to protect my players from all the noise from the outside. We want to make sure from a week-to-week basis, we come in every day working to get better and not worry about what other people say, what people out of the building are, because those people at times are going to be inconsistent. They're going to praise you when you're good. They're going to praise you when they're going to be all over you when you're bad. We need to just fix our mistakes and keep getting better. We talked about having a great week of practice. They say coming after the bye, they felt this is the change they need to make with Cody Fajardo. They felt that would make them a better football team. It has shown that way offensively in the past 2 weeks.
I'm not a meteorologist, but that looks ugly.
That does look a little ugly right there.
Yeah. Wow.
So in that, what's hard is, you know, the Elks are in a situation where I thought they were playing pretty good football, and then all of a sudden the Ticats are trying to figure out how they're going to punt, do other things, and all of a sudden they get a bunch of time to figure out different options and talk. So I think it would have been an advantage for the Elks to keep playing football.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The way things have been going for them, especially defensively, I'm impressed with the steps they've taken in the last 2 weeks against a Hamilton offense that is the best in the league by so many statistical metrics, the most important being scoring.
Yeah,
I mean, this team finds a way to score.
32 points a game, first in the first Canadian Football League, first in the Canadian Football League in passing, versus the worst passing defense in the CFL. And so they're holding up. And on the other side, Cody Fajardo, 16 of 16, 226 yards and a touchdown. Rankin's got an average of 7.7 yards. So, sometimes these things take time. Sometimes you got to make sure you have enough. You just got to have enough time to develop what you want to do in the building, and that's looks like to be a better second half of the season for these guys.
Well, it looks like you and I are going to have lots of time to talk as the evening progresses. We've had rain delays this year. We've had smoke quality, air quality delays. So let's see what we get here. We'll be back to Edmonton after this.
Let's do some football drawing, Farhan. I think this is what they don't like. They're telling us this is where the lightning is and why we had to move. Look at this drone shot. This is an awesome drone.
Lapo's always coaching.
Coaching up. Let's go.
Well, they're expecting this delay to be somewhere in the 30-minute range, depending on when the weather system comes through. So we don't think it's going to be too long. But for now, let's send it over to 4 people who love to talk weather. Kate, take it away.
Farhan, it is my second favorite job on television when I get to play a meteorologist. And I'm no meteorologist, but whatever that cloud is.
Not good.
I think
does not look good.
Am I the only one on the panel who's actually worked as a weather person on the evening news?
You know
I actually did.
You know what? Go ahead. We have all the time in the world right now, Dave. Please explain that.
I am not going to do that.
It doesn't look
It's
good.
a long time ago, early in my career.
By the way, I'm also blaming this weather delay on you, Dave Naylor. Dave Naylor came in yesterday and he's like, you know what? I have the perfect streak going. I have the perfect streak. I've never had a weather delay, never had a smoke delay, rain delay, nothing.
I show up, the game goes through. Streak is over.
Way to go, Nails. Way to go.
It was bound to last.
So, as we were saying at halftime, though, look, this game has given us absolutely everything. And I think we could all admit as a panel, when we looked at the 2 games today, we were really looking towards the second one and thought, okay, this one, we didn't really know how it would shape up. My goodness, it has been a phenomenal back and forth between these 2 teams. So going in, as we said, it might be 30 minutes. We will keep you up to date. But, Milt, who does this affect the most, in your opinion, from a momentum standpoint?
You know what? I don't think it impacts either one of the teams. I think both of these teams have been going back and forth, throwing punches. It's like a heavyweight fight, and no one is up right now. It's basically like the score is. So I think either one of these teams, neither one of these teams will be impacted. Both of these teams are making plays offensively, defensively. We've seen some great special team returns. So I think when both of these teams come back, they'll come out and they'll have the same energy that they had going into the delay.
Yeah, the only loser in this could be, frankly, the fans, because this game has got great energy. This game has got trading momentum.
Right.
It's the kind of game we kind of hoped we'd see, and now that you have this delay, I just hope when the teams come back on the field, there's not a different kind of energy there by having to sit out for a half hour or so.
I want to start with maybe the Edmonton Elks. I don't want that to impact them the most, because obviously when we talk about coming into this game, we were thinking the Hamilton Tiger Cats would have probably came in and won the game, and we looking forward to the second game. But they're playing so well. Cody Fajardo is perfect from the field as well. So hopefully this weather doesn't impact them. But I will say, though, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, they probably have someone over there long snapping, learning how to practice.
Yeah, they are benefiting from
this. They're calling around Edmonton right now. And they're like,
can we sign somebody?
Because we don't want to see Bo Levi Mitchell punting all night.
They could be in the locker room right now. Who wants to get up and try it?
Start snapping.
Start snapping.
Tom needs to get on that for us right now. That's why we have a reporter on the ground.
Look at that.
No, here, it's a weather map. Dave, this is your time to shine. So the green, the red is bad, correct?
Yeah, I think there's probably a mix of warm and cold air that's going to bring the lightning storm into I can't even do my weather.
Why are they moving on their own, Dave? What does that mean? Why are they
I said I filled in on the weather. I'm not a meteorologist.
Okay, I'm just going to talk to our producer Troy right now because I can't hit my top. Troy, why are you bringing up weather maps? You know we can't read that stuff right now. Give us X's and O's. He said, come on, Dave.
I just recited what Environment Canada told me to say.
All right, you know what? Let us talk about a few star players in this game right now, and we'll get to the quarterbacks. As you mentioned, Cody's perfect. He's 16 of 16. I got to go with Rankin right now and what he has been up to, because if you look at his stats, it's not just on the ground. He's 54 yards on the ground, but then he's 48 receiving as well. But you know what? He's playing hard. Some of those tackles, he's running right through Milt, and that's the type of guy you need to get this team going.
He's a running back. I mean, he likes to run the ball, and he doesn't mind contact. There are some running backs who don't want to get the contact, but that's not what Rankin. He looks for the contact. You see on that opening touchdown when he ran through, I won't say who it is. I like that young man, but he created a poster right there. But this is him, and there's a different look to this offense, let's be honest, when Trey Ford is in the game, because you pretty much know the quarterback is not running. Cody's not a running quarterback. You have a running back who can run the ball. So this is good for this team that they came out and they were able to utilize this running back. You see this another touchdown. He has over 100 yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns. That's impressive. This offense is so much different when you have a different type of quarterback.
Well, and the biggest, look, Cody put a good jump into the offense last week in their game against Saskatchewan. But so far, I would say the biggest difference between Edmonton's offense a week ago and what we're seeing now is they are having that ability, that Rankin is ability to run the ball. They really didn't have that complementing what Cody brought the offense last week. But this week, they've got the two, both able to move the ball on the ground, and Cody, of course, being perfect at 16 for 16.
And you are not just looking at Rankin. You like someone else right now, too, for the Elks.
Love what Rankin's been doing, but I'm looking at, actually, the Hamilton Tiger Cats. You look at Keandre Smith, the type of game that he's been having. I mean, he's performing at a high level. Yeah. And he's not the guy that when you look at the Hamilton Tiger Cats, you're thinking Bo Levi, you're thinking Kenny Lawler, but the way that he's playing right now, you got to start to pay attention to him as well. And, whenever Bo Levi's in a bad situation, look, 85 is showing up. So
85 always shows up.
Come on, I shouldn't have said that, huh? I said him up for it. Yeah, I did.
You really did.
But Keandre Smith is playing tremendous football right now, and he's helping his team.
138 yards, and this was interesting too, because right off the hop of the game, and you can see it. I mean, this is a few weeks now. This just isn't something we see right away. But it's interesting watching the coverage on Keandre Smith, because I think if you want to go in order, you're looking at Kenny Lawler first, you're going for Tim White second, and Tim had a phenomenal TD. And, I mean, keeping his feet in bounds, it was absolutely fantastic. But the last 3 games, I mean, just look at these numbers right now with the 357. He's got the 3 TDs. You got to think that teams may start changing up this coverage a little bit, because he is becoming incredibly dangerous, Melts.
Well, the thing is, I'm thinking some of these teams are saying, we're going to see if he can beat us. We're not going to allow Tim White or maybe Kenny Lawler to beat us. We're going to see if he can beat us, and he's doing that so far. Now, there's been some times where he was just left wide open, but there's also been some times where this young man is making plays. You talk about what he did last week, 14 for 130, and I think today, right now, he has 130, and he's scoring touchdowns. So, yes, you can say, okay, maybe we have to give some attention to him, but do you want to do that and say, Kenny Lawler, you're by yourself. Tim White, you're by yourself. So this team has maybe the best receiving core. You still got Bridges. They have so many guys that can make plays where you have to be concerned with everyone right now. So it's a good situation they're in.
Well, 85 is doing well because 89 is still on the field. That's for sure.
You know the coverage is getting tilted towards Kenny Lawler. And in the same way, we on the panel and everybody else was noticing what Kenny Lawler was able to do the first few weeks of the season. Defensive coordinators around the league are noticing this as well, and they're determined Kenny Lawler is not going to beat us. It's really the second week in a row that he's been held in check, and Keandre Smith is obviously the one who's taking advantage of that coverage being tilted in Kenny Lawler's direction.
Yeah, we've been talking about the Kenny Lawler effect, whether he's catching the ball or not. But anytime he's on the field, he's helping every single person that's on the field as well, and including Greg Bell as well, who's having a tremendous game tonight as well. So
I still wonder what
happened. They are well balanced.
I still wonder what happened on that one throw too with Bo when it went
hit
up.
The sun.
I wish I was in the stadium. I felt like it hit the drone or something. Like, who knows?
It was a
what
weird
happened.
play because Kenny, it looked like the most open he's been in the game.
I mean, he was wide open. He made the nice move and then go down. And you can see Bo. I don't know. I needed to see it from a stadium perspective. Let's go over to Cody Fajardo now. And look, I mean, coming into this game, we watched him obviously in Sask, and he gets sacked the 8 times and maybe holding on to the ball. He took responsibility for some of those as well too. But 16 of 16 so far in this game. I mean, he has not faltered whatsoever. By the way, that is the longest streak of his entire career. And when they brought him in here to Edmonton, and I think a lot of the CFL obviously wanted to see a guy like Trey Ford succeed, but having someone in your back pocket like Cody Fajardo, he can come come in and he can do what he's doing tonight, and this has been critically important.
I think why they brought him in because, as I mentioned earlier, they weren't too for sure about Trey. And this team can't afford to have a slide. The way they've played over the last 4 years, they can't afford to have a slide. So they had to bring in an experienced guy, and this was the best fit for them. Cody Fajardo and Dave and I were just talking about this. Before he got hurt last year, he was on his way to be the MOP, and I was actually surprised that Montreal chose Davis over him, and it worked out for him, but I was surprised because I thought Cody was the best one. So what he's doing right now does not surprise me one bit. A couple of years ago, this man won a Grey Cup, and he was a Grey Cup MOP. Last year, as we mentioned, he was on his way to possibly get another regular season MOP, so it is not surprising me.
Well, most times when a starting quarterback loses his job, it's because, you know, his team is failing or he's failing. Neither one of those happened with Cody Fajardo in Montreal. He was there 2 seasons. He led them to 1 Grey Cup victory. He led them to, and he was the quarterback for the vast majority of these games, an 18-1 stretch over 2 seasons for the Alouettes, the greatest 19-game stretch in CFL history. No one else had ever gone 18-1. Cody Fajardo was the quarterback for most of those games. They finished first in the division. They lose marginally in the Eastern Final to Toronto, and bang, he's not a starting quarterback anymore. But he hadn't, it's not the typical narrative where a guy's been a starter and now he's got to go to a backup because he's played so poorly. That was really the advantage. It's not like you have to resuscitate Cody Fajardo's career in Edmonton. You just got to plug him in and you see what you're getting.
And you got to give it to him too. This team looks completely different. They have way more energy. Everyone is active, and you can tell that the locker room is buying in to what Cody Fajardo is saying, and he's definitely bringing the best out of everybody. You look at the receivers. Curly Giddens got going. He got going early. He had a little bit more confidence. He felt like he could talk as well to the other team as well. You talk about Dunbar. You talk every single player, including Keon Julian Grant. They're all now being able to touch the ball and make plays on the field as well. As soon as Cody Fajardo steps on the field, everyone gets better and everyone's happy.
You know, it's great to see for Edmonton right now. And, you know, I'm with you, Dave, right now for this weather delay. I mean, I feel for the fans because they just deserve good football right now, and they're finally getting it.
They're getting an unexpectedly great game.
Mother Nature isn't playing. If you're just joining us, of course, you're seeing our faces. There is a weather delay currently in Edmonton. Wow, it doesn't look like it's getting any better right now. Dave, your expertise, please.
I agree with you, Kate.
It's getting darker over there.
That was poor. Oh, what do you do during a weather delay? Of course, you keep loose. Enoch, were you riding the bike in weather delays?
That's pretty slow right there. That's not going to keep
for Enoch, that's a heavy pace right there.
Run too fast. You don't want to get tired, Kate.
All right, well, this is just the start of our doubleheader today. It is a battle of the heavyweights that wrap up week number 9. The Rough Riders looking to do something that they haven't done since Trevor Harris was an Alouette. Win in Montreal. That one coming up 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. And look, we all hate weather delays, but I got to tell you, if there's a day to have a weather delay, today is it. Because there was a 1-hour gap between this first game and the second game. And guess what? Depending on how long this goes, you might be able to watch CFL football all day long. Just cancel dinner. You're watching us. This is what happens. Look, I said a heavyweight battle, and I think we are so excited for this one and to see where it lands. But defensively, and yes, we have the return of Sean Lemon. There's so many good storylines to this one, but we're looking at the defenses.
Yes, the defensive. It's going to be sack attacks tonight, and who is going to make the mistake? Because we're watching this game tonight, and we're saying, well, which offense is going to make the mistake? Well, the other game is going to be a little bit different. Which of the defenses is going to come out strong? And I think that it's going to start from the pressure up front. And we talk about Sean Lemon coming back. You talk about that defense in Saskatchewan that's starting to figure out what's going on up front, especially Shane Ray over there bringing pressure from the side. He had a couple sacks last week. And so who is going to outplay the other defense is going to be what's to watch in the second game.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very physical game. When you think of teams in the CFL this season that control the line of scrimmage, these are the 2 teams that come to mind, I think, the most. And, you know, I think defensively, one of the challenges for Montreal is going to be Trevor Harris has really been good this year at leading his players where they get yards after catch. You know, whether it's Dante Myers, whether it's Keyshawn Johnson, both of these guys have emerged this year as, I would say, elite yak players. That he can get the ball out quickly, get it accurately, get them into space. So Montreal, as well as getting pressure on Harris, they're going to have to tackle well in open space because Saskatchewan has really been able to take advantage of defenses with those players.
This is not going to be a defensive game.
All right,
No one tunes in the CFL games to say, yeah, that was a great No,
I do.
This is going to be a high-scoring game. Trevor Harris is going to have a game. The panel's favorite player, McLeod Bethel-Thompson, he's going to have a great game.
Don't bring us into this. I am not part of this. This is pretty much you and Davis with McLeod Bethel-Thompson.
What are you talking about?
Certain days we're one on, days where players talk about us.
He loves the panel. McLeod loves the panel. What are you talking about?
Hold on, though. I'm still confused. Does he love the panel, or was that a jab at you? It's one of the two.
No, it was just
It's all love?
It's all love.
It's all love. He's your former teammate. What did he say to you?
He loves the
He loves the panel.
He changed his number. He can't even get in touch with him anymore.
You haven't been texting MVP.
He loves the panel, and he's hard on him.
No, that's good, though. It's all fun.
But we're staying true to our colors, though.
We're staying true to our colors. Yeah. I still think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think we have too many weapons out there, and I know Montreal, they're missing a couple of their receivers, but I really still believe in McLeod Bethel-Thompson. I think the way Trevor Harris is playing, I know these defenses are good, but this is going to be a high-scoring game. That's good CFL football. As I mentioned, no one wants to see a low-scoring, punting field goal game. They want to see some touchdowns like yesterday's game and today's game so far. So I'm predicting it, and my predictions have been pretty on point the last couple of weeks. So go with Milt Stegall if you want to be right.
We could have just made this entire weather delay your predictions. The fortune teller that is the one Milt Stegall. You know, when you look at the Alouettes, too, I mean, it's impressive, too, just with the injuries. They're dealing with some big-name injuries. Tyson Philpott, whether it be Austin Mack, obviously Davis Alexander, and the fact that they've still been able to come together and, two, relied on that defense, and that's nothing against MBT. He was great in the last game. But overall, it's just been really impressive how they've been able to step up, Milt.
Yeah, it's been impressive. You got to give some credit to Danny Machocha, their GM, because they always say the next man up, and you're going to have injuries during the year. I tell guys, when you're on the practice roster, you're going to get a chance to play because football is just such a hectic, physical sport. You're going to get some opportunities. So you got to have some good backups. In Montreal, they've been doing that for a couple of years now. The guys who need to fill in been doing a great job, and that's why they haven't missed a beat. It is important that they signed a backup quarterback. They got that guy, and a couple of receivers are out, but other guys are stepping up. So it's good what they've been able to do with the injuries they've had.
It's funny, with the day that Cody Fajardo was having, of course, going from Montreal to the backup role in Edmonton and then being elevated in 16 for 16, of course, McLeod Bethel-Thompson is the guy who came the other way. And I think I often say this, the most important player on any CFL roster is the starting quarterback, but the second most important in this league, the way quarterbacks been going down the last few years, is often the backup. And I think McLeod Bethel-Thompson gives Montreal sort of a similar type of insurance that Edmonton got with Cody Fajardo. And I remember the day of the trade saying, if you're looking for styles and in terms of matching, Cody Fajardo backing up Trey Ford and McLeod Bethel-Thompson backing up Davis Alexander. Now, Davis Alexander's more athletic, but in terms of the big arm, there is that kind of fit that when Alexander goes out, you've still got the big arm quarterback sitting in the pocket there in McLeod Bethel-Thompson.
Yeah, and when you look at the Montreal Alouettes, and they've been doing that, like you mentioned, Milt, the last couple of years. It's almost like they always have someone in the pipeline that's ready to go and ready to play. So it's a kudos to, yes, Danny Machocha, but also coaching staff, because you have to keep those guys prepared because you can't come on the field and have too much of a drop-off, and it looks like they've been doing a tremendous job of getting guys prepared in that locker room.
And you know what, too, for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, you can say the same thing, too. I really love what Trevor Harris has done, too, from a receiving standpoint. Obviously, Sam Emelis ended up being like his #1 of the last little bit, but overall, I mean, he's been able to spread this ball around. They got a great run game as well, to a very, very balanced offensive attack.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders are doing a great job, and it's more about the continuity over there, right? You look at Corey Mace in his second year in that system. Everybody raves about the style that he brings to that locker room, and now the continuity that they have. When I talk to AJ Ouellette all the time, and I say, hey, you're having a great season, he's always praising the guys up front. He's always talking about the guys that are around him, and so that continuity is paying off for him for sure in Saskatchewan.
Well, you mentioned AJ Ouellette, and I'm not sure there were many players in the CFL who entered this season with more pressure on them than him, because he went with as a free agent, running back to Toronto, had some injuries, and even before the injuries, he wasn't really what was advertised, what Saskatchewan thought they were getting. And of course, he refined his body this year through his training off season, and then of course when they signed Kadeem Carey, there's a little more pressure for him there. Carey's, of course, not a threat to take his job anymore because of the injury. But, you know, this A.J. Ouellette and the performance they're getting from him this season is what Saskatchewan was looking for when they signed him in the offseason leading into 2024.
The early offensive lineman of the year candidate has to be Jamarcus Hardrick. The way he's playing, we know last year, unfortunately, he wasn't able to play because of that injury. But since him getting back this year, you can see the difference it makes with not only that offensive line, but that entire team. He's just not the leader on the offensive line. He's maybe the leader of that team. You can see how they rallied behind him.
Last year because of the injury.
Yeah, they didn't have him. And now they got him
1 and 1A with Ouellette, two big free agents that didn't have the impact they expected.
And now the impact is as you see it, as they have the best record in the CFL. So let's give some credit to that offensive line. They usually don't get much credit, but they've been a big reason why this team's been able to do what they've been doing.
O-line's been great. It's just the continuity, too. The fact that they brought back all these all-stars, too. I mean, it was right off the hop this season, and they really haven't faltered since. So, as I said, I cannot wait for this game tonight. But, of course, we have a game to wrap up. Are we going to be playing football soon?
Get running, guys. Anybody can ride the bike, run.
How many bikes do they have?
Plenty.
Wow.
With these young bucks, Enoch, run.
Get the blood flowing, Mills.
Run.
Well, it doesn't look like it is any better currently in Edmonton, but hopefully some clear skies on the way. But for now, let's get you back to Edmonton and get you to the guys calling the game, Farhan Lalji and Paul LaPolice.
Thank you very much, Kate. Just so we expected, you know, this just gives Lapo and I more of an opportunity to just hang out, talk about our favorite thing, which is football. Oh, and it's weather. We got some guys that decided to take their shirts off. And we've seen dancing in the stands. I know that now that you've thrown to us, we're going to see dancing in the panel studio. Is this what you guys do in the panel?
I don't know, but look at these guys. These guys are enjoying life, man. They're happy. Everybody's hanging out in the rain.
It's pretty warm. It is that. I mean, the rain's coming down heavy, but it's not cold. It's relatively comfortable, and both quarterbacks have been incredibly comfortable in this game. Cody Fajardo's yet to see a ball hit the ground. Now we might blame the weather if it happens. Bo Levi Mitchell, 80% completions, 285 yards. It has looked very, very good for both quarterbacks in this game, but this is what we thought we were going to talk about when we showed up earlier today. First was a weather delay. No. The second was the long snapper for the Hamilton Ticats, Gordon White. So Gordon White's injured, and as a result, the Ticats have been forced to go for it on 3rd and long on 2 occasions already. Let's take a look here at where it may have happened.
White gets thrown down, and we believe he hurt his shoulder right there. His left shoulder's down, and obviously if you don't have the ability to use your shoulder, you're not going to be able to snap the football. So the first time it was a 3rd and 7, the Ticats went for it. The next time they had an opportunity, what happened, and I was just about to say, like, they may have to start getting quick kick. What happened, Bo Levi Mitchell did a quick kick, and so now that's the biggest advantage for the Ticats right now. So their entire coaching staff can come up with a plan. What are we doing? Are we going for it on 3rd and 7? What are we doing on 3rd and 9? What are we doing on 3rd and 10? So they've got a lot of time to sit down, get their players organized, and talk about that. That's an advantage for the Tiger Cats when this injury happens and they have to adapt on the fly.
Yeah, and we'll get to the quarterbacks in a sec, but I want to ask you, with that, can a backup long snapper practice a little bit more? Like, is there some stuff there that can also help them get ready?
Usually every team, you know, like when I was head coach in Winnipeg, our backup long snapper was Odell Willis, and he was somebody who just had done it in experience, and so usually every team's going to have somebody who gets a little bit of reps during the course of the week to go ahead and do that. I'm not sure who the Ticats backup is, so it really affects your play calling too. Do you sit there and say, I'm not going to take as many shots because I'm going to go for it on 2nd and 3rd and 4, but you don't want to be in 3rd and 10. So it'll be interesting to see how they call the game also, but this is certainly, I think, an advantage for them on that part of the game plan. And the weird thing about this weather and the technology nowadays, Farhan, I was watching, I looked to see if the Elks coaches were still in their booth. Nope, they've gone downstairs. And basically Jordan McSimic can get the entire offense together and they can watch the entire game. They got the laptops or the iPads nowadays, so they can watch and game plan and figure out what their calls are for the next quarter.
Now, for what it's worth, when they went for it the first time, you know, they got it. They wound up scoring a touchdown, and Trevor Hoyt wound up snapping for the PAT attempt. So if they do wind up punting, you probably look in that direction for the guy that can do it next. But both quarterbacks, I mean, maybe weather changes this now, but both quarterbacks have looked very, very comfortable so far in this game. Let's talk a bit about Cody Fajardo first. We'll go to Bo first, I should say. And, you know, got off to a fast start with touchdowns on the first 2 drives. Again, Kenny Lawler maybe hasn't been as available, but Keandre Smith certainly has, and he's finding whoever's available.
And I think the biggest thing that Bo's done is, like, he's created, you see a lot of these underneath throws that are taking them off the field, but he's been able to hit some throws downfield doing this, using his legs, creating time for his receivers to get open. But his ability to walk around and run around and find opportunities to, when the coverage breaks down, he scrambles, makes big plays. That's been great. Cody Fajardo, still, you know, his numbers are still spectacular, but the big thing, I think the protection's way better for Cody this game. He's able to step in. He's taken some hits today, and he was able to make plays downfield as he goes. You know, right now he's 16 of 16, 226 yards, 1 touchdown, and these aren't short passes. There's some deep balls, but the protection's been better this week. He's been able to take some shots downfield when they are pressuring. See the shovel play. Disappointing for them is they should have the lead if they can convert that 3rd and 1. You see this nice wheel route up the sideline. So things are great for Cody. This team seems energized by what he's doing, and obviously the offensive output in the last 2 games is strikingly different.
Yeah, and we've seen a little more commitment to the run game, especially in the 3rd quarter here, and I think that's also helped with the protection. And, you know, how much has it helped the fact that this entire week he got a heavy dose of reps? Recall last week it was a case of splitting the reps. There was somewhat of a where things were headed between now and the year.
And the other thing you talked about on the air was, you know, he ran some meetings on his own, and I can't tell you enough how important it is that the starting quarterback is talking to his receivers. I always wanted my quarterbacks, hey, you're an extension of us. You have to coach them. It's better if you coach the players. At times it's not always me. So the fact that he can sit in a meeting room and say, hey, listen, I really need you, you know, when it's 2nd and 4 and we call this concept, I need you to make sure you take only 3 steps before you break inside. Just the information he wants to impart knowledge to his players, that's crucial for the building the camaraderie, the relationships between a quarterback and receiver.
Yeah, and talking to people in the building, there's a feeling that, you know, from receivers, for example, that if Cody's in the game, we better get our head around and be right where we need to be, right when we need to be there, because the ball's going to come out on time. Defensively as well, there's a feeling that they need to react a little bit faster to rally to passes, which then helps them in the game, because, again, the ball's going to get there a little quicker than maybe what was happening before. So it seems to be that the entire group has been put on point.
Well, I heard people trying to say, well, you got to run the football more in Edmonton. Well, if you don't get first downs, you can't do a lot of things. And if you're in 2nd and 10 all the time, you're not going to run the ball. So you have to get first downs, and that's what Cody's brought in the last 2 weeks. Great in first downs. He had a couple of explosive plays this game. He had 2 explosive plays last week, and that gives you, that puts you in great field position, puts you in good position. Even the way they've moved the ball is helping their defense, because, hey, when they punt, Hamilton's backed up in a couple of these opportunities.
Well, we still got a lot of football to play here. It is a 21-21 tie. They told us in the stadium here they're going to reassess where the game is at 4:15 local time, 6:15 Eastern, but certainly looks like sooner than later we are going to get back out here to get this thing decided. Let's send it back to Kate and the boys.
All right, gentlemen, it is time now to talk about one Bo Levi Mitchell. I mean, he has been so good this season. I mean, you told the story too, Dave, but the fact that, we thought, okay, maybe we've seen, the end of Bo when he was obviously not the starter anymore in Hamilton, and then he has just rejuvenated his entire career so far this season through 9 weeks of CFL football. In this game alone, 24 of 30, 285 yards, and he's got the 2 TDs as well. And you know what? And we said this too. It just looks like Bo is having fun again. Yeah,
I think when you've watched a player like Bo Levi Mitchell play as he did in Calgary and realize, what a gift it was to this league, it's hard to watch him when he was struggling, because you keep remembering the Bo that you expected to see. And Kate, you said, we thought maybe Bo's time was done in Hamilton. He thought it was done. I mean, you go back to the end of that 23 season when he didn't play at the playoff game. He stood at his locker and said, right into cameras, if your highest paid player isn't starting for a playoff game, he's not going to be back. Well, Hamilton brought him back. back. And then, of course, you know, he gets benched in August last season. And good for the Ticats for being patient. It's hard to be patient with quarterbacks in this league. And granted, it's easier when you guys got a history like Bo Levi Mitchell. But the whole question, I think, that was being debated around the CFL was, can Bo Levi Mitchell ever get it back? And you nailed it, Kate, that he looks like he's having fun. He looks light on his feet. And we're seeing the result of that. And Hamilton's getting the rewards of that patience that is so hard to come by.
And the experience is, we expected him to have the experience, but what we saw tonight, what we're seeing this season, especially from Bo Levi, especially tonight, is his ability to move outside of the pocket. Yes, he's not outrunning anybody out of the pocket, but he's nimble. He looks nimble. I mean, he's avoiding, you know, sacks, and he's doing a great job of buying time and allowing his receivers to get open. We talk about the Kenny effect. Well, Bo Levi is also allowing these guys to get open by just getting out of the pocket and allowing the receivers to find places.
Bo Levi Mitchell being nimble. That's an oxymoron. Stop it, I see where you're going. I see where you're going. And I think the most important thing is he's having fun. When you're early in your career, it's a grind. You're trying to get yourself established. But when you get yourself established, you want to go out there and enjoy yourself. You want to go out there and be like when you started playing football, when it was just you were just so free, you enjoyed yourself. And I think that's what he's back to doing. You can see his facial expressions. You can see the way he approaches the game. He's having fun. And when you're having fun, it's hard to leave the game. You're having fun, you're winning, you're having success, you're making some pretty good money. I don't know if he's going to retire.
And we know, I mean, how much of a competitor Bo Levi Mitchell is. He wants to win consistently. When he makes a bad pass, I mean, he knows it right away, but there's a lightness to him right now. There really is. And then I think the difference is right now, I mean, when it is a touchdown, I mean, the pass to Keandre Smith, to whatever it may be, immediately the camera turns to him and he's smiling underneath that face mask. And I mean, he just looks like he's having an absolute blast. You know who else is having a blast right now? Tom Gazzola, who's standing by with Joel DeBlanco.
Joel, I know it's an exciting day for you, your first career CFL start, but this weather delay, I mean, how much does this disrupt the rhythm of the game?
Yeah, it definitely disrupts the rhythm. We're feeling the momentum come back, but, I mean, it disrupts the rhythm for, you know, them and us. So when we go out there, it's just going to be a hyper focus of just starting off fast and not letting this delay, you know, lull us to sleep.
How would you assess the way your first start's going here?
It took me a little bit to settle in, made some mistakes early on, but I feel good now. So.
All right, how about defensively? What are you guys doing well against Bo Levi and his offense?
I think we're keeping the ball in front of us. He was able to extend some plays, but we just got to continue to keep the ball in front of us. When we get opportunities to put him on the ground, and, you know, when he's gotten loose, those are when some of those explosive plays have been happening. So just keep tackling, running the ball, being fast, and when he makes a mistake, we got to make the most of it.
Joel, appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you.
I said it before in this broadcast. I will say it again. This is why we love having a guy like Dave Naylor in studio, the storyteller himself. Give us more on Joel DeBlanco.
Well, Joel DeBlanco's got an interesting journey to the CFL. He was the first overall pick of the draft by Edmonton last year, but he's a guy who arrived at the CFL Combine with NFL game tape, which we don't see very often. You know, he had come out of the University of Cincinnati. He was one of these guys who has Canadian citizenship through parentage. So once he got it, he qualified as a Canadian. But he had been trying to make the National Football League before that. And, you know, for a guy who, again, played big-time college in the NCAA, played, I say, preseason in the NFL, I think just the fact that he showed up at the Combine surprised people. And he wasn't one of these guys who showed up and said, I'll do that, I won't do that, I ain't doing that. He did everything. You know, he was a full participant. And because he'd been in the NFL, there was no threat that a team that took him first overall was going to lose him to the NFL. Like, if he'd never been there and he just showed up and ran the testing scores and everything he did at the Combine, everyone said, well, I'm not taking this guy first overall because he's going to end up in a camp this summer. Well, because it was in the rearview mirror for him, the Edmonton's able to take him. This is, you know, he's into the starting lineup now because of the injuries they've had to Nick Anderson, but it's a very unique story for a guy that, I say, I think just the fact that he had that resume and was still willing to do all the things with the guys coming right out of college at that Combine, and he did stand out for all the right reasons.
Well, and you have to love the humility of that, too. And that's so the CFL, isn't it? The heart and soul of it. So a great story.
He's got family roots in Edmonton, so he's kind of embraced that as well. You know, it's kind of all that.
Oh, I love this. Coming up after the break, we'll dive more into Joel's story with Dave Naylor because we don't know how long we're going to be on television. And you know what these guys do? They want to be back out there. They want to wrap up this game tied at 21 apiece. We're going to look back on the Bombers win coming up next. 280 yards, 1 TD, and the Owls win over the Stamps, looking to lead Montreal to their 3rd straight victory. This will be a tall task, to say the least, against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. That one now kicking off in less than an hour. That's it. I told you.
Concurrent CFL game.
I love this. I mean, I don't love that it's a weather delay, don't get me wrong, but I do love that your entire Saturday is now all CFL all the time. Meanwhile, we have a couple of games, of course, that have been completed in week number 9. The Red Blacks taking care of business at home against the Calgary Stampeders. Drew Brown in that game, 19-27, 225 yards, 2 TDs in the INT. And then for the Blue Bombers, they snapped their 3-game slide, 40-31. They beat the Argonauts, 4 knockdowns, 1 sack, and 1 tackle for the one and only Willie Jefferson. Now, we don't have enough time to tee up your clip in the pre-hit Milt when you said that Willie had to have a big game, because Willie was obviously watching our show. He's probably watching it right now, like every other player in the CFL.
Yes, sir.
But you know, for Willie Jefferson, he needed a game like that, and that was vintage Willie.
That was vintage. That was vintage. Willie is the true leader of that team, and when your leader steps up, everyone feeds off of it, and that's exactly what happened in this game. We all know what Willie is capable of, and Willie hadn't been playing up to his standards up to yesterday, but that game right there, that was a special performance. 4 knockdowns. That's an all-time high for Willie. We know how he gets after the quarterback. He created that touchdown, and those knockdowns are just like sacks because they get the opposing offense off the field. So good for those Blue Bombers, good for Willie Jefferson. They got back on track, and we can see now that maybe they're back on track and they're on their way to doing some great things.
You know, Willie Jefferson was one of those players who can affect a game without touching anybody or even touching the ball, like the 4 knockdowns aside. Because on all those plays, the 4 plays where he's got his arms up and he knocks them, on the other ones, he's still running, he's still affecting the quarterback, because you got to think of how many of those throws that Nick Arbuckle goes to make, and he says, I want to throw the ball there, but Willie Jefferson's doing this, and I don't want to give him another knockdown. So even on plays where he's not touching the ball or players, he's affecting the play, and that presence he had last night, it was just every critical down it felt like the Toronto Argonauts had, Willie Jefferson was either touching the ball or getting in the throw lane.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And he started it off for that Winnipeg Blue Bombers defense, really, and they needed a big performance for that defense, especially knowing that Zach Collaros wasn't going to be there, and Strevler was going to be the starter, and they did exactly what they needed to do. I mean, you make some plays on special teams, you make some plays on defense, which they did throughout the course of the night. You look here what they did right there, and then getting Laval to the end zone a couple of times from special teams. I mean, if you're Toronto Argonauts, I mean, you're thinking, oh my, like, how do we let this team get this amount of points without the quarterback, the starting quarterback, throwing touchdowns like that? And so this is exactly what this team needed, and they did it exactly at the right time.
It is textbook complementary football, when you've got your backup quarterback.
But it's scary that they won that way, because you can't win.
No, that's not sustainable.
But that's what they needed, and they did it. They have to get that core. They got to get Strevler playing better if Zach is not going to be back, or whoever's back at that quarterback, because you can't rely on your team winning every single game like that. That's not going to happen.
No, and you can't go to Winnipeg and have the amount of penalties that the Toronto Argonauts had, and not really convert on. We talked about it at length. You're at the goal line and get a yard for a touchdown, which they needed, and you don't do it. So it's always going to be difficult, especially in Winnipeg.
For the Toronto Argonauts too, let's flip over to the other side now. And I mean, the win in Toronto was great. I mean, you take down the Bombers. Nick Arbuckle looked fantastic. We were praising the play calling of Ryan Dinwiddie at that point, and just what kind of chemistry that we finally saw. I mean, my goodness, Tavares Daniels was great. Demonte Coxey has been
back-to-back
lights out. Like, I absolutely just adore watching him play football right now. But now with another loss, and I mean, it doesn't get any easier. Obviously, got to play the Red Blacks coming up next. But I mean, that was a huge loss for the Argos too, wasn't it?
It was a huge loss, and a big part of it, we saw, like you mentioned, Kate, Nick Arbuckle was playing tremendously last night. He played well. He was finding his receivers and he finding spots, and Demonte Coxey was finding ways to get open, running a bunch of double moves. But there was no running game at all that was there. We talk about the fact that they were knocking at the door of another touchdown, and they couldn't trust in their running game, and they didn't even want to go for it, knowing knowing that the quarterback on the opposite side was a little bit limited. And so that ultimately is going to hurt them down the road if they can't find a way to run the ball.
I think that's a really intriguing matchup next week with them and Ottawa. With Ottawa coming off that big win against Calgary. I mean, that was one of those, it wasn't just a win, it felt like a confidence maker for Ottawa because their defense really did a good job taking away Dedrick Mills. Offensively, you know, they did some things they hadn't done before. And you go back to that earlier matchup between Toronto and Ottawa. It's one of those games where if you cut out about a half dozen plays of the game, Ottawa controlled that game. You know, it was a weird game and you know, kind of plays, kind of like you said, the Winnipeg game last night, you're not going to be able to win that way again.
No.
But Ottawa, I think, has to feel like they should have won that game, and now they're going to get another opportunity coming off the Calgary game, and Toronto, you know, we're still trying to figure out what they are.
We don't do no shoulda, woulda, coulda, Dave.
I know, yes there is.
No, it's not,
in
Dave.
In the media there is. For players there isn't, Milt, but in the media there's lots of
We're talking about players, we're not talking about media. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. You know, as you mentioned, that game next week is going to be important for both of those teams. You know, they're both at, was it 2-5?
Both 2-5.
2-5.
And trying to dodge the crossover.
You don't want to drop the 2-6. You drop the 2-6, it's tough. So whichever one of those teams lose that game next week, it's going to be tough for them to get back into the fold to have an opportunity to make the playoffs. So both of those teams are going to be, they need to win that game next week.
You know, I spoke about how important that win was for Winnipeg, obviously getting off the 3-game slide, but that game was even bigger for Ottawa. To win that, I mean, they couldn't drop again. They absolutely couldn't. And it started, and look, we've seen some really nice performances from that defense this season too. They needed help on the offensive side. It didn't help that Drew Brown's had his injuries that obviously he's gone through this season, but that was a complete game. And I thought Drew looked great in that game. The defense was awesome in that game. And look, there is still enough time left in this season.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can make it happen, you know. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, and look, I've never, ever heard of a CFL team with a losing record that didn't cite injuries as part of it. I mean, it's ubiquitous across the league. But Ottawa is the extreme case. Like, if you looked at week 2, they had 11 Canadians on injured list. You know, their offensive line basically hadn't been intact all season until this game against Calgary. So, while injuries are a part of every team's story when you've got a losing record, I think there's more that Ottawa can make up as guys come back. And they got a bunch of guys back in that game against Calgary. And as the season goes on, that will continue. So I think, you know, their roster is improving week over week, just getting a little bit healthier.
I've been on some teams where everyone was healthy. We were just horrible. So it had nothing to do with injury. We just didn't have good enough players. Go ahead, Enoch.
I actually think the story of Drew Brown is really going to be what is going to ultimately, you know, tell us what the fate of this team is going to be, because the longer he can play, not only are they going to improve and continue to get better. Yes, even when he was playing and they didn't necessarily get the wins, you can see the sense of camaraderie and cohesiveness within that offense, and he needs to be on the field for this team to do well. That's the bottom.
The drop-off behind him has been, you know, I think people expected and hoped that Dustin Crum would bring a little more than he has because of the play time. But, you know, you just look at the metrics of when Drew Brown's in that offense and not.
It's night and day.
It's night and day.
Would you rather have Drew Brown or Nick Arbuckle as your starting quarterback right now?
Drew Brown.
Drew Brown.
Would you?
Yeah.
Drew Brown.
You?
Okay. That's a tough one.
You can't pose the question and not answer it.
I'm drinking that Nick Arbuckle Kool-Aid. I would go with Nick Arbuckle right now. I'm drinking that Kool-Aid. I like what I've seen out of him. And I think
long-term, though. Like long-term.
I don't think long-term. I think right now. I ain't got time to be thinking long-term. I don't have any hair. I'm getting older. I pee all the time. I don't have any time. No, I think about right now.
You know, weather delay has gone far too long when we start talking about Milt Stiegel's bathroom habits.
Yeah, right now.
You know what? It still looks a little ominous, but I heard that it might be getting better in Edmonton. Maybe?
No, you going to the bathroom right now?
Milt's going to the washroom.
Dave, you're going with me, Dave.
I'll race you there.
I'm going right now.
It's the only time I'll beat you in a race, Milt.
Well, it depends. I have mine.
I have fantastic news. Players heading back onto the field. They will warm up. The game will resume in 15 minutes time. It's my favorite update to give in a weather update. Here's Tom standing by with Casey Sales.
An extended delay here, Casey. How does that affect the legs? How does that affect everyone? I saw a lot of guys pouring cold water over their heads on the sideline. It was hot. It was humid down here. How do you think it affects everybody?
Yeah, I mean, both teams got to go through it. So, yeah, I think tough part, just warm back up. You know, obviously after halftime, got to do it then. So doing it another time is going to be a little tough. But like I said, both teams have to do it. So, yeah, just got to go out there fast.
You guys knotted up at 21 with the Elks here. What can you say about the way this game has gone so far?
Yeah, it's a pretty even game right now. And, I think we were rolling right before there, right before we went off for the rain delay. But yeah, just got to go out, start fast, and keep it rolling that fourth quarter.
What can you say about the way your group has played in these last 5 games, where in tight games, late in the game, it seems like you guys find a way to dig it out?
Yeah, the good teams win the tight games. That's why I told everyone going out to halftime, and just got to do it one more time.
Your key to getting back out there and making sure you're picking up where you left off.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's 2nd and 8 when we get back out there. So just got to dial up for that play and get off the field.
Appreciate the time, Casey.
Thank you, brother.
Tom's happy, Casey's happy, the panel's happy. Guess what? This game is going to resume in 14 minutes time. We could not be happier. I said to Enoch, I said when we were doing that interview, I said, I mean, this is going to be over an hour delay by the time these players get back on the field and back into game. And I'm like, how bad is it? And he's like, this is awful. Yeah. I mean, as a player just trying to get your adrenaline going again, the momentum going again, I mean, it's got to be incredibly difficult.
Yeah, and it gets even harder the longer you play. You know, you were talking earlier about the hunger that you have when you're young and the experience, but the more you play, the more time you need for warm-up and the less time that you want to have not playing and not moving once the game gets started. Like your knees, you got to warm up the knees again. You need some DW40, some oil, but it's difficult. And so, but you got to get back into the game. You got to get locked in. But it gives a chance for these offensive coordinators throughout the course of this game right now. They have been calling a great game. You saw some shovel passes. You saw some reverses. They might come up with a bunch more plays that will confuse these defenses for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure they maybe went in and watched some plays on the iPad, and it's difficult for all parties involved, but the one thing you got to realize that everyone is going through the same thing. Another thing that's working in their favor is it's not cold outside. It is, I've been in delay when it was cold outside, and that's the worst thing ever, especially as you get older. But it's warm, and everyone has to go through it, so there's no excuses. This is where the mental toughness comes into play. You got to figure that, we still have a chance to win this game, especially if you're the Edmonton Elks, and you just want to go out there and do everything you can in your power to help your team win.
Every football coach I've ever met tries to gain an advantage out of anything that happens, right? Like they're just wired that way. So I'm thinking, you give 2 coaching staffs an hour and 15 minutes. We talk about halftime adjustments. How about lightning delay adjustments, right? I mean, it really is an opportunity to, look at film, see some things, make some counters. Maybe that plays into the rest of the game here and affects it.
I have a question too, though. The conditions have changed drastically. I mean, you saw them running out there. I mean, the field's obviously soaking wet all of a sudden. Do you change? Obviously, the aerial attack's been fantastic in this game so far, but are you going to the ground right away more?
Well, with these fields now, these turfs, they somewhat soak up the rain, so it shouldn't be too slick. Maybe if the ball hits the ground, it gets a little bit wet, but as far as the traction from the players, I think they'll be just fine based on what I know about these turf fields.
Yeah, not like Toronto on the grass a week ago against Winnipeg.
Oh, that was a mess.
Yeah, where it was a mess. Yeah, the turf. And again, this is one I'm sure that they've got an angle to drain, and it probably won't be too bad an issue.
Yeah, and I think, obviously with the advancement of technology is you have the iPads on the sideline. And if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm a defensive player right now, I'm looking at the play calls that we've had thus far, and I'm looking at which ones were successful, which one did the best, and I'm calling those ones a little bit more, and that's the adjustment I would make, really.
Let me ask you guys as players, we talked about how Hamilton's long snappers out of the game, and that's forcing them some decisions on 3rd down. We saw them go for a 3rd and 8. We saw them go for a 3rd and 10. The 3rd and 8 actually worked out in their favor because they completed a 50-yard pass and then it led to a touchdown. But is it reasonable that you could coach up somebody in an hour and 15 minutes to long snap, or long snap better than they? Because I don't know. Is that
shaking his head?
I mean, no. It's for the first day. If you haven't snapped before, I would not trust anybody to go out there for a first day.
But if you have somebody who did it in college, you could take the time and
if you're backed up on your own 5-yard line, it's 3rd down. You can't go for it on 3rd and 10. You have to punt the ball. So they have to have coached up someone.
There is a guy on the roster right now with the Hamilton Tiger Cats who played for Toronto when I was there, Trevor Hoyt. He was a backup long snapper, so I don't know if he just hasn't been practicing or the coaches missed that, but you have to know who is the guy that if we ever lose our long snapper can come in and step up. They're usually at practice, you identify that guy at the beginning of training camp and you tell him, hey, go get you a few more snaps after the end of practice and get ready. Just maybe one day you might have to step up.
Is this the most we've ever spoken about a long snapper?
That's a good point.
Well, that is. Long snappers matter.
Go ahead.
it's unlike any other position because if it doesn't get done correctly, it's disastrous. I mean, you put somebody behind quarterback who's not very good at playing quarterback, you can at least kind of insulate them by telling them to play safe, right? Throw the ball out of bounds. If somebody's not open, just eat it, whatever you got to do. But with a long snapper, they either do it correctly or they don't, and the don't is 30 yards negative and a change of possession.
Touchdown.
So
you don't know the long snapper, and if you know the long snapper, there's a problem. That means he created a penalty or he's out, and that's a problem. That could impact this game like we don't
already have.
possibly know. Yeah, exactly. As I mentioned, if they're backed up, you can't go for it on 3rd and 5 from your own 5-yard line. You have to punt the ball. So it's gonna have some impact on the outcome of this game for sure.
Right now we got a 21-21 ball game, and I'm gonna put you on the spot, Milt Siegel. Yesterday I did it with Winnipeg. You were just like, never ask me if the Bombers are gonna win or not. But guess what? Now we get it. You've seen both teams.
The Elks. I'm going with the Elks.
That wasn't the question. You just jumped. I'm just kidding. What team's gonna?
I feel it. The Elks going to pull this one out. We got another quarter left. I think we'll see another maybe 17 points, but I'm believing in Cody, and I think he's going to pull this one out, and the Elks going to get their 2nd victory of the year.
I'm kind of feeling the same thing, which I'll say, if you backed me up 3 hours ago going into this one, I mean, statistically, this game's a mismatch. Now, granted, a lot of the Elks stats are granted from with another quarterback, but I mean, especially Edmonton's defense versus Hamilton's offense, that's the matchup that's impressed me as much. As much as Cody Fajardo was 16 for 16 and has really brought the offense to a new level, you look at Edmonton's defense going into this game, they're basically last or second last in pretty much every category. That's been the big disappointment. And I think even during their bye week 2 weeks ago, as much as they made the quarterback change and all the attention was on that, I think behind closed doors there was as much attention on the defensive side of the ball and trying to retool and fix that. Going up against Hamilton's offense as they have, that's to me been the most surprising aspect of this game, and that is why I believe, Bill, that Edmonton can't win this game.
I don't know if I can go against Bo right now. I don't know if I can go against retro Bo right now. He's playing tremendous football right now. He's throwing across his body, no-look passes, and finding guys in the end zone as well. I don't know if I can go against Bo Levi Mitchell, okay?
Is anyone a little surprised, though, that Kenny hasn't been as dynamic the last couple games? Do you think that defenses are just getting on to him at this point, or he's just not? I mean, he nearly found the deep ball there, but something happened in the air that we still don't know. But are you surprised at this, Milt?
No. I think back to my situation when I went through that year when I broke the record, and the same thing happened to me. I got a good start, and then they started shutting me down, and the other guys, Arlen, Bruce, they started going off, and then eventually it got back to me because the other guys started going off. So I think eventually it'll get back to him, but they're just saying right now, we're not going to let you get off, Kenny. The other guys are getting off, and I think it'll come back.
And Hamilton's, rather than forcing the ball to Kenny Lawler, which isn't a good idea, Keandre Smith stepping up and become a high-volume target in a way that maybe we didn't see coming.
With what he's shown already this season, if you're a defense and you let Kenny beat you, then you haven't done your job. So yes, let the other guys beat you, and you can't let Kenny do it.
You know what it was? It was ever since you said on camera, "Don't do it, Kenny. Don't do it."
You told me to do that, Kenny.
I did not. What are you talking about?
You set that up. You forced us to do it.
Absolutely not, Milt Siegel. All these ideas are not mine when it comes from the panel.
Can I say one thing?
Anything.
I gotta go pee.
I'm
serious too. I gotta go pee.
Deal, Milt Siegel.
I'm dead serious.
This commercial break brought to you by Milt Siegel.
And Depends.
In men's underwear. Thank goodness we're getting back to football. We can't do this anymore.
Oh man, problems.
Milt's running.
Welcome back to Commonwealth. You see some blue there. We see plenty of green right now. The Elks and Ticats are tied at 21 with 30 seconds to go in this quarter after an hour and 15-minute delay. The rain's almost stopped. There's no wind. For the record, Lapo and I didn't see any lightning, but we're told it was in the area, hence the delay. And for the Elks, given how well they've played ball in all three phases of this game, it's important they find a way here and not look back and say what could have been had there not been a delay.
And I think one of the biggest things is for coaches, I heard the panel talk about the coaches just got to be careful about, you can't start a meeting in this hour and a half because the players got to still be ready to play a football game.
Cody Fajardo 16 for 16 through the air before the break on 2nd and 8. Has a receiver, Curly Gittens Jr. on the sidelines. Good for a first down. Cody picking up where he left off.
Cody's just reading what the corner does, and when the corner comes underneath, he can throw to the wide field. It's a throw everybody in the CFL loves to do for 15 yards to Curly Gittins Jr. Just reading the corner. High-low corner read for Cody. Great execution.
First and 10 at their own 46. Extra tight end in the game for the Elks. This time the quick fake. The pump fake. He's looking deep. Takes a hit. Almost intercepted. Reggie Stubblefield gets his hands on the ball. The hit clearly affected the throw. And that is it for 3 quarters of play. When we come back, the Elks and Ticats are tied at 21 apiece. We have seen some exciting football. Great quarterback play. Plenty in the return game. We'll see how it ends at Commonwealth when we come back. Football following an hour and 15-minute delay. Here's how the players stayed active and busy. Watching a little game film. Trying to stretch, trying to stay loose, trying to stay focused.
Look for lightning.
Clouds. See if there's weather coming. How did we stay busy? Well, you got to keep the energy going.
Yeah. No.
Concessions were full. Ready. They brought some over to us. What, are we going to say no?
Mini donuts. Come on.
Should be a fun fourth quarter. If it was Dwayne, it would be meat. Second down for Cody Fajardo. I'll get that donut down. Hamilton showing blitz. Cody backing up, looking over the receiver, but can't hang on. The first incompletion of the game. Stephen Dunbar drops it as he gets hit. You wonder, ball's a little slick. Again, the weather's not bad at this point, but it's certainly not what it was. But the streak comes to an end for Cody.
Throw right to the middle of the field. There's a zone blitz here, and that's the hard part. You got to get the ball out as soon as you can before the 2 defenders, Wilborn, and I think that's Hauser was a drop end. Basically, they blitzed on one side, dropped Hauser out. The ball's got to be out of the hand quicker.
Cody Grace on for the punt. Isaiah Wooden waits for the hanging punt, 54 yards at his own 10-yard line. Great job of coverage by the Edmonton special teams. He is going nowhere. Leonard Johnson with the tackle. Hamilton takes over at their own 16-yard line. Bo Levi Mitchell is on as much as Cody Fajardo was. Let's see what he's got here with a tie game and a whole fourth quarter left to go.
Burton Kahn do an excellent job as long snapper, also get involved in that. This is a backed up position for the Ticats. See how they handle his backed up offense.
Mitchell with the give to Bell. Bounces to his left. Good productive run on first down. 6, maybe 7 yards on that play. Bring up second and short for Hamilton.
And the run game has been good for the Elks. They've stopped the run. As Hamilton's got 45 yards rushing after that one right there. So they've kind of made Ticats one-dimensional. Not fun when the quarterback's a Hall of Famer, but they're stopping the run on first down.
Some extra linemen into the game here for Hamilton on second and short. This time Bell with the give, bounces to his left, should have the first down before being brought down close to the 30-yard line.
What's hurting this defense for the Elks at times is the wind back play, because you have a tight end right there. He can solidify that backside. They can pull around on that. You saw on the other side, they can go ahead and get a pull and create opportunities. Bordner pulling around the extra tight end. Wind it all the way back to the unblocked man.
First and 10 for the Ticats from their own 29. Edmonton shows blitz. They get there quick, and Bo throws it into an open space to prevent the sack. That'll bring up second and 10.
Little bit run blitz coming. You'll see pressure from the front side of the play coming in. Trying to hurry. You got Brinkman in there, trying to force Bo Levi Mitchell to get the ball in his hands. First and 10, trying to stop the run and also slow down Bo Levi Mitchell, make him throw the ball fast.
good decisions in those situations when he can't extend to just throw the ball away, and that's what it looked like he was doing there. More pressure showing from Edmonton, but they drop out into coverage. It goes to Keandre Smith, but that throw is high and falls incomplete. And Hamilton, after one first down, will be forced to punt.
A lot of disguises by this defense, Redmond. A bunch of guys standing up at the line of scrimmage, then they bail out, play zone coverage. There is a soft spot in the defense. Just a little bit high on the throw. Can't get it to Keandre Smith. So good stop by the Elks defense. Showing a little bit of pressure, dropping out, forcing Bo to be off target.
Ticat set to kick. Javon Leak waiting at his own 35-yard line. Leak takes it to the 39. Looking for some room. Picks his way through to about the 50-yard line, where the Elks will take over in good field position after the punt. Cody Fajardo coming back to clear conditions when we return. Just remember, this is the first of two CFL on TSN games tonight as the Rough Riders take on the Alouettes. That game starts at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN. Good thing we had an hour between games. That game's going to start on time on TSN 1, regardless of where we're at in this game. But you'll be able to catch pretty much all or most of both before the night is done. And that one should be a fun one. Dustin Nielsen on the call there. That is Rankin with the carry. Makes the first man miss, but still winds up losing a yard on the play.
Ticats with great penetration at the point of attack. On an outside zone play, what do? You get penetration. Reggie Stubblefield just makes the tackle miss, gets upfield, forces the tailback to stop his feet, create a negative yardage play.
2nd and 11. Fajardo converted on 2nd and 8 on the last drive. Let's see what he's got here. Fajardo scrambles to his right, looking downfield. Looks like he's going to keep this one himself. Got some blockers out in front, and Fajardo gets the first down. That's what he was known for when he first broke into the league, and a guy that had plenty of ability to run the football. 13 yards there.
Cody Fajardo, as a veteran quarterback, understands coverage. What's going to happen is two people are going to go deep, and everybody else is going to be in man coverage. That's called two deep man under. And when everybody runs with the receivers, and Cody doesn't like the picture, he takes off and starts to scramble. You have to have somebody responsible for the quarterback. Hamilton doesn't. Big first down.
Penetration for the Ticats. Stubblefield again. Nothing doing for Justin Rankin. -3 on the last 2 plays.
Yeah, Stubblefield close to the line of scrimmage is is Rankin. He heard lightning. I'm out of here. Or he doesn't want to be on camera. One of the two. Reggie Stubblefield close to the box. They're blitzing him a lot off the edge. He's making a lot of plays. You're going to have to find an answer for Reggie Stubblefield.
Ticats showing blitz again. Fajardo sets up the screen, but Rankin winds up getting tripped going through the line of scrimmage, and that pass falls incomplete.
Blitz, once again, Stubblefield coming off pressure, so the answer was, hey, they keep pressuring us, let's call a screen pass, throw behind the rusher. Rankin just falls down. Stubblefield, very good series, creating a tackle for loss 2 different occasions.
Devin Varasek injured early in the second half, and with all of that break, he's still not back in. Ryan Baker's in at linebacker, so I wouldn't expect Varasek to return to this game. Meanwhile, Grace with the end-over-end kick to the 20, bounces back. Edmonton has it. There's a penalty flag on the play. Is that the kicker? Is that Grace? No, it's not Grace. That's the... Let's see what happens. happens here. Let's see what the ruling is. It looks like Grace is celebrating. If that was him on the bounce back, it was, in fact, Grace. They recovered that, and that's going to be Edmonton's ball.
Normally, a penalty flag will go down anytime an Elks player gets into this area. They get inside the 5-yard halo, then they're going to confirm who that player is. They'll say there's no penalty if it's the punter.
There is no infraction for no yards. The ball was first touched by Edmonton, number 24, who is the kicker. It will be first down, Edmonton.
So football IQ for Cody Grace. He had a bad kick. He knew it was a bad kick. And when a punter has a bad kick, what do? You go sprint downfield and go recover it. As he goes to punt it, you can roll it, guys. As he goes ahead and punts it, he recognizes it. Just watch the punter back. He sees it, and as soon as it sees it short, watch him sprinting downfield, because he's going to say, I'm going to go get it before the returner gets it. Returners must, on short punts, get underneath it, because the punter's going to come down and try to make that play.
Just a massive play for Edmonton right there. This time Rankin, and for the third straight time, there is nothing there in the run game. This time a loss of 5. Wow. First down, they're all over the box right here, Lapo.
Watch. Okay, watch here, Cody. Watch that kick. Crossfield kick. You can see him just taking off. Now, the returner just have to understand, when it bounces that far up, I got to go get it. The Elks get a great bounce because it bounced back towards him. Saw it coming, makes the play. Bo sees it coming. Great play by the Elks.
All right, Fajardo on 2nd and 15. Just a 4-man rush. He gets it out quick to Rankin. But all sorts of white jerseys there to make the play and force Rankin out of bounds. But now you get a chance to take the lead here. If you're Edmonton, you don't want to make a mistake when you were in field goal range. And now they haven't done that. First field goal attempt of the night.
And they're just struggling on 1st and 10 getting some of the runs. And that's why when people say, hey, you got to run the ball, more, sometimes you can get some of these negative yardage runs. Sometimes you want to just mix it up. If everybody's playing up the run, get your play action going, get some of your quick game. Hopefully they can add some throws on the perimeter in case Reggie Stubblefield keeps blitzing.
A 33-yard attempt for Vincent Blanchard, who is 9 of 11 on the season. The kick is up, and it is good. With 8:39 to go, the Elks have a 24-21 lead. Edmonton with back-to-back key special team plays. First, the punt recovery by Grace, and then the field goal. They take a 3-point lead. Winning. Check out his winning percentage, just trailing his former head coach Dave Dickinson.
And he also tonight had his first ever punt. That's a crazy stat for him, but this winning percentage, when you talk to Bo, he credits obviously Dave Dickinson, John Huffnagel. He says, when we won in Calgary, it was because we had a great defense, we had great special teams. Yes, I played well at times, but it was a team effort, our success.
Mitchell fakes the sweep, looking deep to Kenny Lawler. Couple of defenders there. Lawler can't make the catch. It's knocked away. Cordell Jackson of Edmonton right there to get a hand on it.
Misdirection, fake an inside zone play, fake a reverse, trying to get those DBs to look into the backfield and forget about Kenny Lawler. Not going to happen tonight. Little action fake right there, then try to launch it up to Kenny Lawler. Great downfield plays, excellent understanding where the DB is. Cordell Jackson understands the receiver's there, and he recovers and makes sure he can help out Garnes on that deep ball.
Lawler just 3 catches for 19 in this game. This time Cordell blitzes. Looks like he's got a completion for 11 yards on 2nd and 10. Tim White with the reception out across the 50-yard line.
Hitting the soft spot in the defense as you see a blitzer come off the edge. There'll be a blitzer coming right here. They're going to drop out. Tim White breaks in, then back out. Takes a soft spot in the defense, trying to hold the Blanco in. Right at the sticks.
Is that worth looking at a second time? I wonder.
Bo and company are not going fast, so I think they trust it's a good catch.
and 10 for Mitchell. Checks it out to the right side where it is dropped by Bell. Put it right there.
Once again, the Elks defense is just playing everybody off, staying on the top of the two deep routes, and saying throw to Bell in the flats. And Bo, this is what Bo has improved in his game dramatically, throwing the underneath. Greg Bell just doesn't look it into his hands. Makes it 2nd and 10.
Cordell Jackson would have been right there to make the tackle, so not sure it would have been a big gain, but nonetheless, it hits the turf. Ticats converted 2nd and 10. 2 plays earlier. Let's see what happens again in the same situation. Edmonton bringing 4. Bo moves up into the pocket, scrambles to his left, has Shamar Bridges on the sidelines. He gets knocked out of bounds, and they rule that incomplete. Defender right in position to take his legs out of bounds. He couldn't get the 1 foot down.
Bridges saw his quarterback in trouble. On the scramble, on the move. Just couldn't get it in. Good, great tackle on the sideline. As he comes back trying to find it, the speed of Terrell Ford makes the play.
And he goes low, kicks the legs up so he can't get that toe down, and Hamilton will have to punt. Short kick. Leak is moving up to get it at his own 25-yard line. Just a 34-yard punt. We've got flags on the play, which could well be no yards against the Ticats. Let's see what the call is there, but that could be a bit of a field position changer as well for Edmonton.
No yards. Hamilton, number 25. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Cody Fajardo has the Ticats where he wants them. 6.5 minutes to go and a 3-point lead.
You like special teams in the Canadian Football League? Well, Bo Levi Mitchell, his first ever quick kick. Why? Because the punt, they're losing their long snapper. Who's have to come in? Trevor Hoyt has come in to be the punter. Cody Grace has a bad punt that's bouncing backwards. He runs down, gets in front of the returner, makes the recovery. He doesn't have to give no yards. Big recovery led to a field goal. All kinds of crazy special team stuff today.
And that doesn't even include a couple of really good returns by both Wooden and Leak to set their teams up across midfield. Rankin, this time slips cutting back inside, but at least positive gains after the last 3 where negative yardage occurred. But good for Jordan McSimic, sticking with the run regardless of what he's seen on first down.
A lot of people here, and when you have that many people, you can wind this thing all the way back, and that's what's going to happen. This is just a tight zone play, but then as you collapse the whole defense, I think he was mad right there. He was going to take it and go. See Jordan McSimic staying with the run game, and it pays off. 2nd and medium now. Easy conversion.
2nd and 6. Fajardo sends his receivers to the left. Fajardo looking deep to Stephen Dunbar. Intercepted. Stavros Katsantonis intercepts it at his own 30. He's out across the 50. Looking to go left, and he goes down at the 50-yard line. Katsantonis with his 3rd interception of the season, the 12th by Hamilton this year.
Your free safety has to have range. He has to get up. You have to get off the hash and run downfield. He's right here. There's going to be a seam pass that is wide open. Once the seam shows up, they have a miscommunication in man coverage. You get beat, but that's why you have a deep safety. So your deep safety can help Amos when he made a mistake in man coverage. He get in a trail position. Katsantonis is over the top to be able to help out on that play.
Wow, was Keon Julian Grant open on the right side. But he chose to go to the other side. And now a 5-man rush against Bo Levi Mitchell, who again avoids the sack, directing traffic, and throws it out of bounds. Bo has found the fountain of youth with his legs. This is not something he did in Calgary. He was not known for this at all.
Here's Stavros one more time. Let's take a look at this pretty picture on the pick. Amos made a mistake in man coverage. Wasn't sure who to cover. That's why he's in such a trail position. Stavros is right there to take it away. I believe Dunbar catches that and makes the touchdown. Free safety's got to be able to recognize things and then chase the ball down when it's in the air.
Mitchell just 9 of 18 in the second half after going 16 of 19 in the first half. Second and 10 for Mitchell. This time he checks it down to Johnny Augustine, who makes one man miss and picks up the first down.
Multiple times run this with Johnny out in the flat with a vertical player. And if everybody lifts, you throw it out. Johnny's already at 6 yards. Then they just got to rally. You got to rally up and make the tackle. They can't make the tackle. J.J. Ross misses on the edge. Creates a first down opportunity. Got to make your tackles in space.
Mitchell now over 300 yards. His 54th career 300-yard game. This time he gets it out quick to Kenny Lawler on the quick screen. He cuts inside, picks up some blocks, and gets 9 yards before being brought down.
A lot of different formations, motions here. You got Keandre Smith in the backfield now, releases out. You see Keandre right here. He's running out. This is a screen. 1 blocks out, 2 blocks out. You'll bring a lineman out. Get the ball in the hands of Kenny. Couple blockers, lineman out. Follow the big men for big yardage. Nice 9-yard game.
Golagala in on second and a yard. Looks like he falls forward for enough yardage to pick up the first down at around the 37-yard line. So Hamilton in Mark Leggio's field goal range already with 3.5 minutes to go, trailing by 3.
Another 300-yard game, 54 career 300-yard games, most by any active quarterback. Just shows the longevity, his abilities. And, Scott Milan has talked about it. We asked him this week, what's the strength of Bo compared to some of the other greats you've been around? And the one point he said, which you certainly believe, he said, Bo Levi Mitchell, more than any quarterback I've had, he looks for the deep ball. And pairing what he's doing now with the deep shots, with making good decisions, checking it down, timing his drops with his feet. Some of the things in the West Coast system that Scott has brought him to, that's made him a formidable quarterback who could play for a long time, I think, left in this league. 3rd and inches here, we'll see.
The 4th third down gamble of the game as Golagala comes up just short.
In field goal range here.
Edmonton with 2 turnovers in this game. One was the 3rd down attempt at the 1-yard line. They turned it over on downs. And now this one, the interception by Cody Fajardo. Hamilton trying to complete a drive and get some points off turnovers here in what has been a very well-played game. Golagala should have the first down.
So the interesting thing will happen if Hamilton does have to kick a field goal to tie this game up. It'll be interesting to see. Trevor Hoyt's got to execute the short snap, right? They're going to get the hold down. It's a little different when your long snapper's out and short snapper's out of the game.
3 minutes to go. We have gone extra here in Edmonton with an hour and 15-minute delay, but just a fantastic game so far. Keandre Smith, Justin Rankin, players from both teams have had a lot to celebrate. We'll see how it ends when we come back. 3 minutes to go in Edmonton. Just a reminder, we have got one more game coming up in Montreal. Saskatchewan is there for a game that is going to kick off shortly in about 7 minutes' time. We will take you to TSN 1. For that game, we will stay on TSN 3 until the conclusion of this game. First and 10 for the Ticats from their own, or from Edmonton's 35-yard line. Mitchell drops back to pass, looks left to Craig Bell, who falls for a gain of 7 on first down. Joel DeBlanco in coverage there.
One of the reasons DeBlanco was drafted by this football team, the Elks, is his speed. Watch him run down. He's outflanked. He has to chase the back to the wide side of the field and get all the way to make that tackle. Great tackle. When we talked to him this week, I asked him, what was the change? How was it hard last year? He goes, Coach, when I was running to the sideline, I got to the numbers. There's another 12 yards still. Like, this is a big field. It took me a while to fall into understanding how the width of the field affects things and how I can chase things down. But you just saw his speed on that play, chasing the back.
That was Mitchell's 40th pass attempt of the game. This time the handoff to Bell, who comes up right at the first down marker. Let's see if they give it to him.
Nice jump cut inside as Elks defenders coming off the edge here. You'll see him put his foot, stagger in here. Too much penetration by Keaton Brugling. Gets through there to get the yardage for the first. Nice slide step, lateral move for your tailback. Get north-south.
Tyreek Johnson with the tackle for Edmonton there. 1st and 10. Closing in on 2.5 minutes here. Drops back. He continues to back up. He gets it to Keaton Brugling, who slips and falls. A loss on that play of about a yard, maybe a 2-yard loss. We'll see where they mark it. Brugling slow to get up here.
Watch his eyes. He starts this way, goes this way, goes this way, goes all the way back to Keaton Brugling. This is the difference in Bo I've seen in the last 2 years. Scanning, crossing route's not there, go all the way back to Keaton Brugling. My last read gets it out to Keaton after he went to protect.
And we did have some rain, in case you're aware, since we're still on the air here, so probably contributes to the fall there for Brugling.
Brugling getting a lot more playing time in the last couple of weeks, and they're using him more. He was we were trying to make him a wide receiver in Ottawa. They're using him a little bit more as a fullback H-back type to be able to add in and block and release out in routes.
Brugling came into this game with just 3 receptions. He's had at least that many tonight. 3 receptions for 19 yards so far in this game. Brings up 2nd and 11. The Ticats already in Mark Leggio's field goal range with 2:24 remaining. And if you're Edmonton, you get into that moment of the game where you start not necessarily questioning, but you need some positivity. You need to find a way to finish this.
Just get them off the field here. Just force a field goal. They're already in field goal range. Even a sack is not going to take them out of Leggio field goal range. Just force 3rd down and see if Trevor Hoyt can execute the short snap.
So many options for Bo Levi Mitchell here, from Lawler to White to Smith. Let's see where he goes. Edmonton showing blitz. They bring 5. Mitchell looks to Tim White, who is into the end zone. Touchdown, Ticats. They take the lead.
Tim White inside position. A zone blitz by the Elks. Kind of voided the middle of the field. Bo sees that there's open space for Tim White. Hits Tim White right down the middle of the pipe. See for this 27-yard touchdown. As the safety goes away, he looks inside and says, there's my post throw. Look the safety off, throw the post in the middle of the field.
30th completion of the night for Bo.
It's the same touchdown he threw in the first quarter. Was there ever a doubt? Same touchdown he threw to Keandre Smith.
Big kick here for Leggio as it makes it a 4-point game. In all likelihood would have to score a touchdown to win this. Might not be enough time for a pair of field goals here, and the kick is good with 2:01 remaining. The Ticats take a 4-point lead.
If you would like to continue watching the Elks in the Tiger Cats, you can do so on TSN 3. It is a battle of the heavyweights, though, wrapping up week number 9 as the Rough Riders look to do something they haven't done since 2021. Win in Montreal. It is the Alouettes and the Rough Riders. And Jocelyn Coates of Chilliwack, BC, this is your chance to win big. Thanks to Save on Foods' $1 million touchdown win. If the kickoff is returned for a touchdown, you could win groceries for a year. If 2 kickoffs are returned for touchdowns in this game, you could also win.
On task, on point. Mitchell. Both toughest part about playing Bo Levi Mitchell, he's seen every picture, every coverage. He's going to make you pay if he has time.
9-play, 60-yard drive for Mitchell and the Ticats. It came off the Cody Fajardo turnover, and it feels a lot like Hamilton's victory last week. You know, for all the criticism that Mike Benavides took for how conservative or how soft he played defensively and the focus he put on Kenny Lawler, with 3 minutes to go in the game, you had a lead. Bo was at around 224 yards passing, I believe, and then he exploded at the end. And in those moments, sometimes Bo just feels inevitable.
Well, I think what people are going to have to start figuring out is, yeah, we're worried about Kenny Lawler, we're worried about Kenny Lawler. You better worry about Bo Levi Mitchell. You better make it harder for him to throw the football. You better pressure him, do something so he cannot sit back there and pick you apart.
Javon Leake stays on the left side, makes one miss, steps out of bounds just across the 30-yard line, where Cody Fajardo will take over with 1:54 to go.
If you remember last week, Bo Levi Mitchell brings late 3 minutes left in the game. O'Leary Orange for a touchdown, hits this touchdown, touchdown right uncovered players, brings him all the way back for the win. In that game, you saw at the end of the game, he checked it down, right down the field to get in touchdown range, make their plays. Very hard to stop this guy, whether it's man or zone coverage you're facing.
The difference is here, Cody Fajardo still has time. He pitches it out to Rankin, who breaks one tackle, stays on his feet, can't break the second, but gets 9 yards on first down. And that'll make things very manageable on second down here, but lots of time left for the Elks.
So, you know, sometimes you put your back in protection. Sometimes you try to get them out after the protection, because these guys are great with the ball in their hands. There's a lot of space. You make one miss, it's a first down. And I love Rankin's ability to bounce off people, have the balance he has. Keep giving those guys opportunities.
Hamilton showing blitz, but Rankin gets through it, makes one-man miss, still on his feet, drives inside the 40-yard line. Very tough run for Justin Rankin.
Rankin's trying to say, put the ball in my hands. I will keep helping you win the football game. I'm going to play with effort. I want to win a football game. Keep trying to bring me down. I'm going to keep my legs going for this 25-yard run. That's 20 yards of yak yards.
69 yards in the afternoon for Rankin. He's got his team in good position here at the 37-yard line. Fajardo takes the snap, four-man pressure. Fajardo looks deep to Julian Grant. He's dropped it! No! Keon Julian Grant had 6 points in his hands. Fajardo can't believe it.
Julian Grant's going to run a simple corner out. He's going to have inside position from the halfback, which tells Cody, I'm taking the throw to the outside. Amos is beat. Just doesn't finish with the ball in his hands. He looks.
Wow.
Just a tough drop. Beautiful throw. Just got to finish.
A lot to lament here for the Elks if they don't come back to win this game. Fajardo on 2nd and 10, pulls it down, gives it to Rankin, who is taken down immediately by Peters. No gain on the play. And now a decision with 1:03 to go. A field goal doesn't help you.
Jamal Peters, we just talked about Justin Rankin in space, very difficult.
Edmonton.
Great timing, great tackle. Great the 3rd and 10 situation.
Edmonton takes a timeout here. Clock would have continued on that play, so it does make sense. You know, you would see some coaches maybe take the field goal and try to either kick onside or use a timeout in the final minute to try to get a 2 and out, but
103, I think you're going to go here. 3rd and 10, you're in a decent position. Be ready for some type of zone blitz from the Ticats and be able to protect it all, make sure you have enough protection, and give an opportunity to throw.
Hamilton showing blitz here. They bring 5. Fajardo gets hit. Fajardo flips it out to Arkell Smith, who's got Julian Hauser in front of him and a lot of yardage to make up. And Hauser makes the play. Smith can't get the first down, and the Elks turn it over.
Pass rush rush is about bringing multiple players, and one of the best guys in rushing the passer in the Canadian Football League is Reggie Stubblefield. He does a great job at beating the receiver off the edge to come make his plays, creates the opportunity to get to Cody. Cody has to flip it outside. Reggie Stubblefield, when he blitzes off the edge, is one of the best rushers from a secondary spot. It's hard to tackle. It's hard for the receivers to go in and make the block on him and give him. You don't want to put him in any 2-on-1 situation. Stubblefield's had a great second half.
And if I'm Keon Julian Grant, I'm pretty sick right now. You look at that drop coming with what happened late in the first half, and this game was there for Edmonton. But they're going to need a miracle now with 47 seconds to go. They're out of timeouts. Tough one. They've done a lot of things well tonight, Lapo.
And you got to give hats off also to Hamilton, though. On the road, come back, drive the length of the field once again, take the lead late, step up defensively. Ticats are hitting all cylinders. Tough to win in Edmonton on the road, going across the country.
At their own 40 on 2nd and 7. They just give the ball. They're working the clock, and Bell gets the first down right up the middle, and that will do it. With 25 seconds left, Hamilton retains the ball with a first down.
Bell hits it up inside with a little bit of pressure. Huge cutback, huge seam. Gives them an opportunity now to do the victory offense. Get another win.
A heartbreaking loss for the Edmonton Elks. They lost by 3 last week, played even better in this game, but they couldn't overcome a pair of missed opportunities for touchdowns, and they will fall to 1-6. Meanwhile, for Hamilton, this will be their 6th straight win. The last time that's happened was 2019. Talked about getting the bad football out of our team, and there wasn't much of it tonight at all.
Well, I mean, they got like you just said, the 2 opportunities. They didn't score from the 1-yard line. They got stopped on a 2nd down from the 1 and a 3rd down from the 1. You got to make the catches in the end zone when those opportunities come. Special teams early on to start the game gave up a huge return that put the ball to 25 to start defensively, but they're getting better. But that's a hard thing to keep saying to each other, to the players. They want to win a football.
Yeah, Cody Fajardo has certainly made this team better, and all 3 phases are rallying around that. But the margin for error for this team right now is so difficult. And for Bo Levi Mitchell, 350 passing yards, played one of his best games of the season. But in the end, Hamilton stays atop first place ahead of Montreal, who's coming up next.